thing, but quality, like I bought two iPhone 14s or whatever, the titanium case, and holy fuck, those things get hot. But they're also, I don't know, fucking Samsung or even Nokia. And so Adrian Dittman keeps going on and on about Huawei and how it's the most superior phone on the whole fucking marketplace, but you can't buy it in America. I'm telling you, there's just so many things when you listen to this Adrian Dittman speaking, you're like, oh my God, this is fucking really Elon Musk. And then you have people who come in and know it's Elon. And then at the very end of the conversation, they'll say, okay, thanks, Elon. Have a great day. And then he'll be like, wait, what? Did you just call me Elon? He's like, fuck. I'm not fucking Elon Musk. I'm Adrian fucking Dittman. Like, it's just obvious. I mean, but he's coming on every single night. Like, he's lonely. This fucking guy has like 14 children. You know, is he spending any time with his kids? No. Like, I'm telling you, Elon Musk is like a depressed person. And I mean, it's just shocking to see how he lives his life with so much money when he could like live in extreme comfort and supply his, he's not healthy. He's not making health. He's not living a healthy lifestyle. Like he
I
knows
mean,
his.
like, would you complain about Tesla's life? I mean, he did the things that he wanted to do.
Well, what I'm saying is you have to do everything together, at the same time. You can't do all this work, accumulate all this money, and not focus on your health. Like you can't literally be on Twitter Spaces 24 hours and get 1 hour of sleep and then come online and sound like a manic episode. He's either operating off of Adderall or just caffeine. I'm just telling you, like my recordings, it's like there's serious concern for his mental stability, his mental health, his physical health. Like Donald Trump is kind of like a slow mover in the sense that like he's not wasting his energy. That's why Trump really has a lot of shit figured out in his life on how to manage his life, how to control his life. And Elon Musk seems to be like a chicken running around with his head cut off in extreme anxiety. He's under a lot of pressure. X costs a lot of money and he doesn't make a fucking dime. And that piece of shit loses money every single day, a lot of money. So he's under the gun.
I mean, but he's always been like pressured,
I
not
get I
necessarily
get that,
from
but
like
but
not necessarily from the outside, but for
well,
himself.
see, he's a man. So when you come on the social audio chat app, you want your talk therapy. You want your dopamine feedback looping, and that's what he's getting. But when you're a fucking CEO, you think, oh God, this guy's got some shit figured out about psychology, about life, about sustainability, about health, about all these things. And then you listen to him and you're just like, fuck. Like,
No, I think that's just us projecting on him, because like there's a lot of people that they'll be so confident in one area, but then they're like just fucked up in another area. Say their kids, maybe in their personal health, but like from the outside looking in, you would think they have their shit together, but they don't. In other regards,
well,
because they
Elon
were so
doesn't have his
driven.
shit together. He's got four. What is he? He got like 8 wives. Do you know what his alimony and all? You know what I'm saying? This guy doesn't spend any money because he's fucking spending so much money because of all the shit that he's gone through with his ex-wives and the kids and all this shit and the Twitter buyout. Like he could be financially like pinched. I mean, to a certain extent, he's not really. I'm just saying that listening to him speak is like no different than listening to somebody on Clown House speak. And you're just like in shock. Like, I can't believe this is Elon Musk.
Well, it's because you're listening to someone thinking it's Elon Musk
No,
when it's
dude,
not.
it is Elon Musk.
Dude, bro, I promise you're not.
Oh,
Like
you think it's just some guy
I'm
named like
serious.
Jeremy that lives in fucking like Sweden or something? Okay, Abe. I've spent many, many weeks recording Adrian Dittman. It is 100% Elon Musk.
It's 100% not Elon Musk.
Okay,
I
do you
would
want to
like
bet
to
me
read you a
$100?
real
Because T
quick.
Robs and I have put down $100 bet. I will bet you $100 as well, and I will walk away with
Well,
$200.
okay, but how could either one of us prove that it is or
Go to
isn't?
adriandittman.com, listen to my recordings, and you tell me if that is or is not Elon Musk. Very simple. I have evidence, you have no evidence. I have receipts, I have links, you have nothing but your fucking voice opinion.
No, it's, I'm sure. How do you look at like someone's previous like recorded spaces or whatever?
On Twitter?
that are saved. How do you find that?
Adrian Dittman does not save his recorded evening podcasts. It's all non-recorded. That's why I'm saying it's of great value, because I have exclusive footage. I mean, you have to look at this in terms of surveillance and surveillance capital, and making recordings of people who don't necessarily want that conversation recorded. And you're doing it in a social space, in public. How the fuck do you not think that people aren't going to record you when they think you're one of the richest men in the world? What I'm saying is he's a novice to social audio. Like, he hasn't been on Clown House for 4 years doing what we've done, what I've done. He got X, and he has X spaces, and he's new to his whole interview with Trump was like his first big public speech, or his big first public, he's not a great interviewer. His Trump interview was fucking pretty lame, and he even overtalked Trump. Like, his communication skills suck. He's autistic. And Adrian Dittman is the exact same fucking person.
I know. I think Adrian's a little more well-spoken as far as like just communicating whatever it is that he's talking about.
A little bit, but still, like, it's Elon Musk, dude. I mean, it's just obvious. It's his nom de plume. What do you think? He just like disappears and hangs out with his wife and kids? No, he plays video games. He comes on X Spaces. They talk about Diablo all night long and all kinds of weird shit and memes. And he says all kinds of weird things as if he's like some Gen Zer or some shit.
Like, I mean, I don't know why he, like, if it was, and I know it's not him. I don't know.
You don't know that. I know it is him.
I know just as well that it's not him as you think.
Okay, do you own AdrianDittman.com, and have you been filming Elon Musk for over 4 weeks every night of the week? No, I have. I have evidence. You have your opinion.
What do either one of those?
I have Okay, let me tell you how you prove something, okay? You present evidence that supports your hypothesis. Your hypothesis is that Adrian Dittman is not Elon Musk, and you have absolutely no evidence. I have a website and probably over 100 videos now of Adrian Dittman talking about everything under the sun that Elon Musk would talk about. Okay, you have nothing, and I'm gonna win this $100 from Mr. T. Rubs here.
But your website couldn't be the evidence that you would use, because you are making a claim and you're the one that recorded it. So that's kind of a biased source.
It's not a biased source. I have to work with what I can capture. And what I'm capturing is Adrian Dittman speaking. And that's obviously everything's talking about. You're like, yeah, that's fucking Elon Musk.
You also have to wait with the deadline, because even if you're correct, but it does not before the election, you also lose.
Oh no, like I'm telling you, give me like a little bit. I guess stuff to do. Like I can prove this. I can prove as well as I think anyone could possibly prove that it's not him. You could just say no.
Well, good luck. Good luck. We won't be here when you're proving it to yourself.
Those are less than 10 seconds, and I'm into that. Nice.
I mean, they sound similar, but the laugh is totally different. They were in the same space at the same time. They were like.
Listen, the evidence is not based off of a laugh. It's based off of what he's saying and what he's talking about. He's obviously Elon Musk. And even if I was, let's say I'm right, and you think I'm wrong, I just don't understand why you think you actually know. You don't know shit.
Yeah, but the burden of proof is on you, though. Not on him.
Let's make it $200.
Give me 2 to 1 odds, and we'll bet it. We'll make $200. Done. You owe me $400. I'll owe you $200. I said, give me odds on the bet. I'll even go deeper on the money. This is not rocket science. Listen, I can go into a room and I can talk shit and then fucking, listen, voice recognition by the brain is easily identifiable. And all you have to do is listen to my clips and you'll be like, fuck, that is fucking Elon Musk.
Not all fucking brains are created equal, motherfucker.
Yeah.
If Marshall...
You're a smart guy, but just because you're a relatively smart guy doesn't mean that you're good at this per se.
No, I'm 100. I have spent enough time on this. Believe me, every night of the week, I can't pull myself out because I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I'm listening to him again. But I can't stop because I know it's him. And I'm like, God damn, this fucker is so rich. I cannot believe he's doing unrecorded spaces. It's obviously Elon Musk. And if the New York Times or Bloomberg or any major media news outlet knew that, they would be recording him and doing a giant expose to destroy him and to destroy Trump.
Alex Jones, literally, Alex Jones was the one that blew up Adrian Dittman.
I know, it's because it's fucking Elon Musk. And just the other day, Adrian's like, after the fucking Trump event, I'm going to go talk with my friend Alex Jones. I was like, wow. I was like, this is fucking Elon Musk. I can't believe it.
Well, Alex Jones literally claimed that it was Elon, and he's wrong about it.
No, he's not wrong about it. He's right about it. It's obvious. Just go to Adrian. Have you gone to adriandittman.com yet?
Dude, I've spent plenty of time in spaces listening.
Oh, really? Okay. Sounds good to me. You know the truth then. You are 100% correct and I am 100% wrong. That's just the facts. You're right, I'm wrong. Okay. Congratulations, you won.
Damn, and you doubled down too. You have to owe Tim like $200. That's crazy.
Damn, I've already lost the bet because Ape here thinks he knows what he doesn't know.
My thing here is how we need to agree upon some sort of
Do you want me to play the clips? Have you gone to adriandittman.com?
That's fine. I'll get my own clips too. But we need to have some sort of way to be able to determine when someone actually wins.
Okay, wait. I want to change topics real fast. Have you seen this ray gun breaking Olympic Games in Paris? Have you seen the dance of this retard?
Yeah, everybody saw it. We've seen the memes.
Oh, really? Okay. I just saw about it today. I didn't know about it. I thought it was hilarious.
Sorry, the verification comes by a deed. If it doesn't happen, if by a deed, I ransom.
It's like January 5th or January 7th or something. I'll be, I mean, who knows if I'll even be on this app by then because I don't believe in the future, but,
Oh, shit. Fucking faggot.
Well, they're probably going to we're going into the most contentious election in human history. If you don't think that they're going to delete people on this app that are pro-Trump, they took my Trump account down. They deleted Trump after they deleted all my Roger Mayhem.
I'm less worried about this app where the developers can't even get their shit straight than say a bigger platform that's more target rich in X. I mean, in these smaller rooms, we don't say anything really crazy anyway, for the most part.
Well, I mean, you can go to the town hall meeting and listen to Paul and Joe, talk about nothing for an hour, and you can just see all the people on this app just eat it up. Like they're getting something exclusive or something exciting happening to their life. It's unbelievably pathetic. No, they do town halls. They do product update town halls.
But I'm pretty sure I saw it's the voice no bullshit thing. They don't even host the fucking town hall anymore.
Town hall. This app is
not just worth their time. It's not even worth their time. Like they may do like a one-off here or there, but they don't do it like they used to. Because they used to have one at least every other week.
I said that Joe and Paul are LGBTQ Adderall addicts, and they immediately kicked me from the town hall and deleted my account.
I mean, you should have expected that.
Well, I'm surprised that they even look at the chat.
Of course they do, man.
It sounds to me like they just read scripts. Like they're getting paid, that they're not actually, owners of the company anymore, and they're just doing a job.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're doing their job.
It's not to make a profitable, good app.
It's not profitable.
No, I'm saying that's not their job. To make a profitable or good app.
They're trying to make.
Good luck with that. Why they run so many people off the damn app if that's what they're trying to do? has a better point than that, honestly. Like, people just naturally talking, training AI.
Oh, it's 100%. They're definitely monitoring. 100%.
3 in 4 young adults blame social media for mental health decline, and no one is signing off.
Okay, if this is causing your mental health to decline, you've got bigger issues.
Well, this app is not the only
Could
thing
be
that.
bigger issues in your mental health.
What?
I mean, if you have mental health issues, like what other issues could you have that's bigger than that?
Mental health is one component of your health. There's physical.
Mental health issues don't come from an app; they come from inside. The bigger issues.
I know, but coming on this app and listening to people speak is filling your cup up with a bunch of lies and disinformation and toxicity. And then what do you expect when you leave this app to carry with you? You carry the toxicity that people transmit to you through the fucking words on this piece of shit app.
If it doesn't stick, don't hold on to it.
Well, this is the problem.
I mean, I don't know if they've been trained to carry that kind of mentality though.
It's called anchoring.
Like, and part of it too. A lot of these people, they ruminate on all the negative shit that's happening in their life. That's a problem as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, not understanding that some of those negative moments got them to the position where they are. If you can, draw any cup half full moments from your life. But
Well,
hey.
My father today was telling me how much he regrets, all the mistakes he's made in his life, and how he prays that Jesus, can forgive him and save him and all this stuff. And I'm like, Dad, I was like, true wisdom is knowing that everything that has come to pass happened is exactly as the way that God wanted it. And so your depression or your reflection of, your mistakes is, you got to understand it was your destiny to make those mistakes. And he's like, I disagree with that fact. We need repentance and forgiveness from Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. I was like, okay, that sounds great. But, I mean, from what I've read from Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, it says that we're living basically, it doesn't say we're living in a simulation, but it means that like you can rationalize a lot of the things in your life, basically because it's a lack of knowledge and understanding. I mean, you made those bad remarks, you made those bad decisions, but it's a learning experience. You have to grow from it and take it, and let it go. I mean, people are obsessed with the past, they're obsessed with the future, and they completely ignore the situation now. And as a result, their future doesn't change because they're not making changes now. And now is all that there really is.
I don't know. That's a weird way to look at it, man. I had a conversation with like a older relative a long time ago. I say a long time ago. It was probably like 8-10 years ago, and we kind of had the same thing. And then fast forward to that same relative about 4 years ago, I was like super excited about some family history stuff. Come to find out, like family genealogy thing, and I shared this with Mister up there. Like found out with slave ship, our family, at least on one side of the family, came off of. And I was like, yo, that's pretty cool. And he's like, I don't know if I want to know about that. But I'm just like, every single thing that happened for a reason. And without that moment happening in history, I doubt we would exist. Because, everything wouldn't have happened to where, you meet this woman, you have your daughter, my dad meets his woman, as me and my sister, like the likelihood that, the likelihood of like certain people even being there to meet each other probably doesn't exist. And then not to mention,
zero.
Yeah. And then now that you know what ship you came off of, you can actually have a direct route from who bought who and what tribe you delineate from. So that's a link to the past that you didn't have before. he didn't like it, but he kind of like saw the wisdom in it, I guess.
Well, the thing about accepting the situation now, as the expression is that the disposer disposed of things exactly as how the disposer wanted to. It's basically a way to rationalize because so many people do go through such terrible trauma, rapes and abuse. I mean, how the fuck can you grow when somebody has like sexually and methodically destroyed your entire psyche from birth? Like if there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that light is the wisdom of God. I mean, you can read Psalms, Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, or a bunch of other books to help get you closer to love. I'm just saying that uh, you have to, people are so hard on themselves. My father is so hard on himself in terms of like his failed marriage and his children and this and that and like things he went through, serving as a police officer for 30 years and getting those memories, recurring memories, chronic thoughts. I'm just saying that this is a way to rationalize or to reframe your situation for the positive, for the good. Because dwelling on the negative, dwelling on the bad, that type of programming will not help you progress. You have to have positivity put into your programmatic system to have any chance of some type of future success or growth. And so, what you put into your brain and what you listen to is who you are because you are your thoughts. And what you listen to is technically also your thoughts. I mean, what I'm talking about is what you're thinking about. That's so all of our reality is based off of our thoughts. If you're going to do something like, build a business or something, but you don't have the terminology to even build that business, how the fuck are you going to build that business? You have to have the words, you have to have the knowledge and understanding in order to even experience it. So your thoughts do dictate your reality.
Boom.
This is one of the very first lines out of the Dhammapada, which is Gautama Buddha, who 2,300 years ago wrote that you are your thoughts and that your reality is your thoughts. But you have to hear the words or grasp the material or get it from a book in order to change what you're thinking about or to introduce new thoughts into your consciousness. You are basically nothing more than a fucking computer. You're an iPhone with fucking legs. And what you put into that iPhone is what you're going to get out of it. And so I'm careful about what I listen to. I don't spend too much time in toxic rooms. I come in, I'll
Is
record
that
some
why you
shit.
just keep talking so you don't have to listen?
Hey, you don't listen to that gangster shit?
Well, this is the problem with Randy. He'll come on here and go on and on about liturgy, and it's like, bro, like, are you mental? Like, what's wrong with you? I mean, what is your point? And, you know, people love Jesus and they think they really understand the philosophy or the liturgy, and it's kind of like, you're kind of demonstrating poor decision making or what is the point? Nothing. You can keep repeating yourself over and over again, but without new information, you're just spinning, 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 and you're not getting anywhere. I mean, if you disagree with me and I'm
So,
rambling, that's what it is.
observation. What do you make of the observation that we've been in here having a coherent conversation with fucking Edmund more so than Randy?
I think the stuff with the married the last few days that's been more muted.
What? I didn't hear that.
I said I think you've been more of the problem the last couple of days as far as the back and forth with Randy.
Wow. Amazing.
Well, I mean, like, is it really that amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, you are also your own worst enemy. I mean, so am I. But for you to go back and forth with Randy and not realize that he's intentionally trolling you. I mean, when you left the room earlier, he was laughing because he's like, "We did it, dude. We destroyed the room." Like it was intentionally trying to upset you. And you don't see that, T Reps?
But I gotta deal with a fucking No, I'd like to mash him against the wall, but then I don't want to have to fucking clean it off the fucking it's a painted wall. But if I fucking like I've got a tissue, then I gotta go wash my hands because I fucking hate the fucking bastard. Right, can I flick him on the floor and then kill him? Right, on the floor. Okay, he's gonna die, bitch. Yes, got him. Fuck you. See? Fucking spider's gonna die. I fucking hate spiders.
See, like,
I
I
fucking
really
told you
enjoy
about spiders
like,
going to bed, bro. I fucking told you. Like, they've manifested this shit.
Hey, look. I enjoy like these conversations, especially like when we're talking about like all these different things. And then Tim came off mic to talk about his spider, and I was like, Painted Wall. That'd be like a great band name, Painted Wall.
Amazing. Anyway, so yeah, so you're telling me that Randy literally was gloating in the fact that he got a reaction out of me? Is that what you're fucking saying? Actually happened?
Yeah, after you left, we started laughing at
So
you.
did that actually happen and Lose think that I'm the fucking problem? Yeah, well I think less of you.
No, but see, it's a symbiotic thing where
Like if that's actually happened.
Like, I don't have to
Also not Troy.
I don't have
and
to
Lou thinks
like
I'm the fucking problem.
Look,
and Randy's literally
Randy is Randy any different than he normally is, Tim? No, he's not.
yeah, because he's eating that shit toward me.
listen, when I first met Rabbi Randy McDickerson,
Let's just excuse retarded behavior because, well, he's always been a retard. That's what.
what he did today is no different than what he's done 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
What Lou is saying is, well, Tim, it's your fault because Randy's.
Yeah, dude, you've been hella agitated the last like 3 days.
Whatever, I've got no fucking time, bro.
Okay,
I
that's
have
fine. I'm not
time.
mad at you for it. I'm not mad. I don't care. I don't have an issue with it. I'm just saying that
It's all my fucking fault. Thanks.
No, what we're saying, T Robs, is that you are unaware of the game that's being played at your expense.
Bro, I understand.
No.
This is what. Listen to me, motherfucker. Randy thinks he won. Randy would have quote unquote won if I kicked him. So I did the unexpected thing. I let him have the fucking room. I didn't boom the room. I left the fucking room. I started this fucking room. And if you joined this room, I'd start a fucking another one. It's that simple.
Oh man, I'm too stubborn for that. I would have just kicked him, kept it moving.
No, but you see,
You know,
look how
I love Randy though. I
know.
I still would have kicked him.
That's I told him. And I even whatever I sent him a message after the last time I kicked him. It's just like I can't believe I fucking retarded. Whatever it was. It's just like some of us don't consider Clubhouse very seriously. And if this is just like a bullshit, low level, like, fairly casual conversation, I give no fucks in people that come in and try to make it whatever the fuck it is that they want to make it. Some like non-stop relentless bullshit. Yeah, I'm gonna shut it down. Fuck them. Randy's been on one lately, and that's not my fucking problem. But Luke, it's like listen to me. If I actually give a fuck, I'd say like Lou's victim blaming right now or some bullshit. But it's just like it's pathetic actually. But hey, it's my fucking.
that's right.
It actually makes me think less of you. So.
All the feelings mutual, buddy.
Okay, I'm perfect. Perfect.
I mean, this is the thing about Rabbi McDickerson. He has no real, I guess, like patriotism, or because he's a displaced person from Jordan and he's Greek Orthodox Christian.
Randy's a fucking windsock. He blows whichever fucking way the wind's going, and it fucking changes. 1 week, Bitcoin's up, so he's Bitcoin. The next week, Bitcoin's down. He's talking about fucking, Judaism and blah blah blah. Like whatever the fuck it is, right? Just like Randy is just a fucking troll, right? Unless Randy's getting a rise out of someone, Randy doesn't know how to operate. Randy doesn't know how to have a fucking normal conversation.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, like, I think anybody that comes on this app and talks about Jews all the time, especially if you have wife and children, like, you're not really optimizing your situation, and it's kind of embarrassing. If I was a wife or children and my dad is wasting his time on this shit, I'd be like, Dad, we're over here. Can you talk to us? Like, what is this bullshit? Like, this is a neuroses. This is a mental health thing, and you're not actually, even if you were right, well, you're still losing because you're not actually preparing for the future. So I just can't understand the Jewish derangement syndrome. And, you know,
Jewish dreams. Oh my
it's true. There's so many Jews out there that have nothing to do with what you're talking
Wait,
about.
hold up. But there's a bunch of them that get in spaces where they talk about people that don't have anything to do. So there's that too. But whenever you said that originally, talking about like if you're a children, and like, hey, Dad, we're over here. Why did I imagine like David Hasselhoff, like drunk on the floor, like eating a sandwich? I don't know. That's where my mind went.
I mean, David Hasselhoff doesn't hate the Jews. Like, he's a happy person. And he had a big, oh my God, speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
And look, and nobody mentioned that shit. You brought that shit up, man. You are your thoughts, and you're fucking with mine.
Well, welcome to the world of thought projection exchange. I mean, that's the problem with Kamala Harris and the entire liberal left leaning establishment is they don't actually really talk about anything other than just mass communication hypnosis, abortions, LGBTQ, trans, etc. They never ever actually discuss anything, which is primarily the banking industrial complex, the national security state industrial complex, and it's all a cover for really the tyranny of runaway, insane clown people. I mean, capitalism in itself, you could go on and on about it, but I want to hear what Rabbi Randy McDickerson has to say because, we've been talking about
Take
you
him
for
into
like,
another room, bro.
ping him into another room.
Yeah, go get a room.
How about you tell Ludi to cut his hair because as a bald man, I can't stand seeing a disgusting, vivacious head of hair like that. As if like that's actually
Aren't you so
attractive.
threatened by hair now?
No, but do women find that hair attractive?
Why are you bringing that up, man?
Because Ludi has been a longtime antagonizer, and also Angela. Angela, I got to tell you, I listened to you. I listened to you in the Chillism room earlier, and you sound like a child, like a little girl, screaming at people on a phone. You don't sound composed or
Did you
intelligent.
Angel, did you get clipped?
A couple weeks ago, and now she's all upset because she doesn't have her account with her thousands of followers, as if that gave you credibility. I think it's funny though how
They're
the
fucking
black
all dead anyway.
the
Most of my, like, I remember how my were doing. Those people aren't even on this app anymore, right? Like, if 10% of those people are actually active, I'd be surprised.
it's true. I mean, you could have 40,000 followers, open a room, and like two people come to it. I mean, I don't know how they shadow ban on this app. I don't even think that's a thing on this app, but like I'm definitely shadow banned on YouTube, on X. I mean, I get no views. My accounts are definitely labeled as, spam accounts or engagement farming accounts. Angela thinks she's going to run for fucking Congress. I mean, she's going to give, patriotic
Hey,
speeches.
hey, technically, I don't know if they're unwrong about that fact that you're like, a farm engagement, like engagement farming, kind of a spam account.
I know, but I'm not. I'm actually just a human being. I'm not an operation, and I'm not some kind of automated bots. I'm a human being voicing my political opinion, and apparently I'm so controversial or right wing that they censor me and delete everything that I record. But I'm just one little human. There's millions of me.
You know, it's interesting because I hear people talk about being shadow banned, but in my experience, people who are shadow banned have a tendency to just content that isn't actually very engaging.
Yeah, I'd say there's truth to that, but I think what I post is engaging. I mean, I don't just like ask questions, to for the sake of asking a question. I mean, I'm constantly fighting what I believe to be a hypocrisy, which is the left using all this propaganda, but yet still concealing their true inner nature, which is the military security industrial complex, the banking and energy. And they're all just hypocrites. They're just fucking ruthless liars, misinformationists, disinformationists, scam artists, and frauds. They're clowns from outer space.
Yeah, I see a lot of that on both sides of the aisle now.
Yeah, easy to say you see it on both sides of the aisle, but I only see it on one side of the aisle, and that's called the Democrats.
No, for sure.
So when do I see Democrats getting fucking shadowed on?
Well, you wouldn't see them if they're shadow banned.
We could see cases of it that have been brought to light. No, fuck it.
Yeah, but them.
Fuck fuckers.
Yeah.
Retards.
I don't know what that guy's name is. I think he's had a couple accounts.
Fucking faggot.
Yeah.
Wait, who's that? Faggot. That's it.
I can't remember his name. He's not been on this app for years. He's kicked me out of at least 100 rooms. At least. Every time I go into that faggot's room. Kick, kick, kick. I don't know if he's a faggot or not, but I'm just saying.
That's a nice and noise. Legit.
So, GoDaddy, I own like hundreds of domain names, and I've set almost all of them to expire. I'm just like I was about to give up on all of it, but like GoDaddy now has this AI website builder. So, I'm never going to actually pay to, uh, have like a monthly subscription, but they will still let you create a free website. So you just put in your telephone number and add your social media channels, whatever. You don't use their advanced functionality. You just use the bare minimum, and it actually is a good service and product. And then, so what I'm going to do is I've started building out my portfolio, and now I'm just going to try to sell those websites off of Craigslist, off of eBay, or some of the other website sales, platforms or web or services. But fucking GoDaddy finally stepped it up and incorporated AI into their domain platform.
That's a nice one. So, actually, like, here's the thing. At a minimum, you need to be making, like, each fucking domain making $10 a year and pay for itself.
So what I think I'm going to try to do is put Google ads on all these AI built sites, and then try to monetize it through that, via that way. I used to make.
Bro, it's harder to get a fucking domain approved for fucking AdSense than
Yeah.
WP.
Oh, I know.
Like, I have a fucking site that, like, ranks each one on Google. It's been declined a couple times.
Yeah.
Whatever their current terms of service are, because I actually turned the ads off. So it's been previously fucking shown ads, right? I went to fucking have it like reinstated or whatever. Exact same website. Like,
They denied it.
Fucking denied it. And the fucking
Yeah.
tell me why they denied it.
I know. I don't even know what to do anymore. Like I'm in the same boat. I had an account that used to make me 200 to $400 a day for years and years and years. And it's like now they won't even approve. And it's like, what the fuck? This is like a PG-13 website with like a fucking bunch of ebooks about sponsorships. What the fuck? The fuck are like Nazis running that shit? It used to be open boat. I mean, I know people that have made millions upon millions and fucking small fortunes off of Google ads. And but But when you run as an advertiser, if you open up to that Google Display Network, holy fuck, you're gonna burn through your budget in minutes, and you're gonna get no fucking ROI. It is what it is. It's amazing when you think about a webmaster. Like it's basically a fucking full time job, hard job, extremely complicated. No one can really teach you what the fuck a webmaster is. But there's a lot of webmasters out there, and there's a lot of legacy webmasters out there. There are so many sites that were built in like the late '90s that are still up there today because they rank well, and the founders of those fucking websites, still get traffic, and they're still making money, and their websites look like shit.
Bro, look at Craigslist.
I mean, and Craig's a multi-billion-dollar company.
Craigslist like intentionally runs extremely. It's like 12 people or something, right? Like really small team.
I've emailed Craig Newmark and like have conversed with him. I tried to get him to donate money to a nonprofit that I created to help veterans get temporary housing, and he was interested, but in the end, he flaked on me. But that guy is worth like $1 billion, and he's a
What
faggot.
service were you in?
I bought this homeless Marine Corps veteran an RV for $1,600 off of Craigslist.
That's not what I asked you. I
What?
said, what service were you in? Did you ever enlist?
What?
Were you ever in the military?
Oh yeah, I used to be. I was an infantry sergeant and a second lieutenant Army intelligence.
Sergeant, second lieutenant.
Yep, I did National Guard, post 9/11. My friend came back to our room and he's like, "Oh, I just
That
signed a."
makes a little sense. So you were a sergeant. What?
Yeah, PFC to specialist to a sergeant, and then after I graduated college, I got commissioned as a second lieutenant.
Within or?
Within, in the Army.
Yeah, did you stay in, right? So
No, I
the
served
Army
6 years.
or the National Guard?
Oh,
You said like
I was a
16
National
months.
Guardsman. I didn't do an active duty contract,
Right.
so I did 1 year of active
So
duty.
basically, once you graduated, you were able to go and actually get a commission.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a famous military college called the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. And after you graduate, you have the option, because everybody has to do ROTC, you have the option to commission.
In with the Army.
I mean, I'm proud of what I did, but I didn't go all the way. If I could be in it right now, I have a friend, my college roommate. He's very high up, and he's multi millionaire. I mean, I'm fucking living in, I'm living like a pauper compared to people I know. I know people that are, multi millionaires from serving in the military industrial complex. But they're basically just consultants, but they're not bullshit artists. They're legit combat killers from Afghanistan and, or Iraq, and they're real people, and they don't fuck around, and they're not necessarily public. They may have LinkedIn, but it's all automated. My friend was posting all this cryptocurrency stuff. I was like, bro, you're like on the cutting edge. I was like, I can't believe some of the shit you're posting. He's like, I don't post that shit. I was like, you don't post that shit. He's like, no, my employer automates all of our LinkedIn postings. I was like, holy fuck. It's like, god damn, I'm a loser. I'm on the outside. I'm poor.
It's an interesting one, actually. LinkedIn API. Oh, 1 second. Do you know what, actually, I may actually want to move forward at some point with this jobs thing. I found a fucking I told you about this before. Like I have like challenge that you can come in my area, but like the problem is like no one wants to walk into an empty restaurant, right? You gotta have like you can't just have an empty fucking site. You need to have something to fill it with, right? So how do you inject the momentum and also the or you prime the system with listings? Yeah, I was denied because Indeed to allow you to fucking use their API, they want want to see of an existing jobs website. But how the fuck do you get an existing jobs website with jobs to get the access to their APIs without actually getting their job listings, right?
So
it's like
go to
chicken or egg.
jobsonline.net.
I find one, but it's for the UK specific.
Oh.
Anyway, I find one. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, there's like fucking like 10, 20,000 jobs or something. I was like, wow, amazing. That's free.
So I used to work
I
at.
can't believe they're just giving the fucking data.
Well, if you can manipulate it or capture it, I mean, Instagram used to have an API, and so I was working with my neighbor who's a software developer, and I was like, dude, we're gonna mass spam Google by creating websites off of the Instagram API because I started seeing all these sites. This was like near the Cambridge Analytica time, where publishers were taking the Instagram API and then spamming the fuck out of it across all categories, airline, hotel, like everything that you buy high value keywords for. They were taking that content and republishing it across the web, across hundreds or thousands of websites, and using that IG data as the basis of their content. So yeah, if you're really talented, I mean, jobs data. So I used to work at jobsonline.net, which got bought by Monster, or actually by Disney Corporation, the Shamrock Partners, which is Walt Disney's hedge fund. And the guy that I used to work for, he sold his company to Monster, and then he launched this job search engine. And when you register for the job search engine, you put your name, your number, your email, all that stuff, and then he sells your data immediately to a call center, which does lead generation for for-profit education. DeVry, ITT Tech, all these online universities for MBAs and all that bullshit. So yeah, these guys are fucking filthy rich, $100 million, 200, 300 million. I mean, big mansions in Chicago, and it's all jobs. It's a huge category. So it's a big marketplace, and
Yeah, and the fucking fees that they charge per listing is insane, right? Like I literally, dude, I charge my clients in this automotive space like single digit dollar amount per listing per month, right? It's fucking hundreds per listing per month in fucking a recruitment. It's insane. That's what it's like where I live. Like, bro, if I tried to charge someone $100 for a listing, like it would be out of place. It would be met with suspicion. That's too cheap. Like, is this even real? It's like a real estate agent would charge 5% or something. Sure, someone else does it, but it probably doesn't answer. It's basically alluding to going back to the AI that you're talking with the AI. So but yeah, I actually made something like that together in the next 12 months. And it's not going to happen. I doubt it's going to happen. But even if I just did it, it's automatically pulling in as listings and updating itself, that was what I can see. Like the site's getting those domains and getting organic traffic, right? If you owned jobs.com, like people just type in, it's just direct type in traffic, like these domains just get traffic on their own. Like there's literally a fucking blank white page. I don't even put anything on it, or maybe just a blank white page, and they get fucking hits. There's nothing on that except for analytic traffic or analytic information for like it's much short. So I can basically start the site and organically rank for
done killing spiders. Go ahead, night night. Night night. Enjoy yourselves. Shouldn't take seriously. I'm looking forward to picking your fucking mind on election time. You're meant to laugh. Adrian. Right? Jacob Dingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too. I'll talk okay, let's speak. I'm feeling really. Tell that motherfucker to get it. That is hilarious. I don't know why my mind went there. Like as soon as I heard all the names.
What? Look at the chat. Look at what Randy wrote. You guys are the real conservatives. LOL. Like, why does he think he's so conservative?
No, like he's talking about. I don't know anybody. It's weird. So like, he will form a straw man and argue against that instead of talking to some of the people that he's talking to. Cause like, I don't know. He even say Tim is a conservative, but Tim doesn't consider himself. And I'm like, I lean libertarian. I don't necessarily, say, oh, I'm this. I mean, you could say, oh, maybe I have some conservative values, but I mean, what does that even mean, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a hard time kind of identifying with certain conservatives because, like, they're only conservative in name only. And then, like, they run around beating their chest talking about, I'm conservative, but they do everything that the other side does. I mean, they're just disaffected liberals. What's weird is, like, there's more liberals that do that than conservatives. And yeah, they're conservatives that probably go into that, or people that call themselves conservatives go into that. But the overwhelming majority has to be, liberals or leftists, primarily leftists. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
It's really been going into this really, really disgusting bestiality aspect.
Why does that not surprise me? I wasn't surprised when he said those words at all.
About him saying that sometimes it's about bestiality.
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
But it's something, I don't know if it obviously does, but that's the last thing I remember going on and on about.
Okay, alright. I don't know.
Strange. No, it was really, the context was also very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But it's like, at first I thought it was because, like, he was more critical of quote-unquote conservatives because, like, he expected more out of them. But I don't know if that's the case. I have no clue if that's the case. What's up? Hey, Adrian, do you really have a problem with people with full heads of hair? Or was that a joke earlier? Diego! What's going on? Not too much, man. You missed Adrian here, waxing poetically.
Who's that?
For like Chicago cheeseburger.
Oh.
Your buddy. He's like, I walk around the corner and I recognize his voice. that is such a funny story. What are the odds, man?
What are the odds?
It's got to be astronomical, man, unless he's like an FBI agent or something.
Look, either he wanted to find me or I wanted to find him. I think that's the conclusion of what has to be.
What do you think they were going to find?
So Adrian Dittman is live on X Spaces right now. If you doubt that is if you doubt that he's Elon Musk, just go in there and listen for a few minutes and be like, "Fuck, that is Elon Musk."
Who is it? Can you post a link?
Oh, hey, Diego. Like him and Tim have a bet that this guy will be revealed to be Elon Musk, so you might have to play intermediary.
Wait. Am I not in on that also? You should listen to Lou. You're a real conspiratorial kind of guy. Let us know if it's Elon Musk. Elon Musk has a very particular way of speaking, so if he's in a live space talking, dude, all these people are like, they're all like very accessible now. Like I was just chatting with Pearl from Pearly Things.
Yeah, but she's easy to access though.
She's cool.
She's like extremely easy on the like the whole scale of, like celebrities. Most celebrities are super easy to access, unless it's the ones that really don't like people. Like even then, they're still really easy to access. I mean, like I got a virtual assistant that I use, and this person's like tracking people down for me, giving me phone numbers of like certain individuals. And I'm like, cause like hell, like when I remember I wanted to talk to
and not enough people stood up and said like, hey, what are we doing here? And we're actually causing harm, to the very kids that we're trying to help. And we're making our classrooms less inclusive and less welcoming, actually, by doing some of the things we're doing, by demanding that students identify with race check boxes and with gender check boxes, and that we conflate sex and gender in the classroom. Like, there's just so many things that are happening, and it is all related and tied to that toxic ideology. And so part of my life work and my purpose in this time is to, bring people's awareness to that, to give them a naming around it, and to give them tools and resources to push back, and to go in and say, to their school boards, hey, what are we doing here? I understand you all are talking about social justice. Is it critical social justice that you all are pushing? Are you working more from a classical perspective? What's the end game? We're talking about social justice. There must be an end goal that we have. What end goal are you pushing for? Are you pushing for equality of outcomes? Are you pushing for equality of opportunity? And and be transparent with people and let them know what you're up to, and so that they can, let their money and their taxes and their shoes do the walking in terms of school choice. So that's where I'm at is with trying to help teachers and educators to choose alternate pathways, and administrators as well. And you can't just criticize and say like what you're doing is wrong and it's harmful and it's just bad, and you guys are just like, oh,
I can't remember because the dad's name I think is Sasha. But I used to talk to the brother all the time. We used to like chop it up about sports because like he had that sporting agency, and I would congratulate him on certain athletes or whatever. Like whenever they had like a good performance, and then I would ask him questions every now and again or whatever. Just like when I would see him online. Hell, like even a couple like big time music video producers back in the day. I had back and forth with them. I even had when I was doing the kind of artist development thing for a little bit. It wasn't really a big deal, but I had Dame Grease, who's like pretty big producer or whatever.
They feel like they're part of the community. They get validation from what they're doing. We have to create alternative structures, I believe, so that people can celebrate, moving in a different direction, and in one that is still, looking at history, looking at what has taken place and not negating the progress that's been made, because that's another part of the postmodernist critical, way of viewing the world. It's to really say we've made no progress. There's like a lot of pessimism and nihilism in it. We've made no progress. We haven't done enough. We're going to just burn it down. But no one ever talks about what happens when we dismantle everything and burn it all down. What's next? And what's next really is the advancement of communism and socialism in all aspects of our lives. I don't think some people understand the danger because it hasn't been taught to a whole generation, like the differences between, a republic, a democracy, and a communist and socialist system. Those things aren't being taught in school. Instead, we just have these rewritten narratives, and this talking about, your pronouns and, sexualization of young people, racialization of young people. And when you go from kindergarten on up through, your college education, being told that you are this or that, or you identify as this, or you're from your ancestors did this, and now you must atone for it. Just imagine the danger and the damage. You can see it that's happening with our youth as a result of receiving this kind of education. And so, but I remain hopeful. I'm someone who's a hopeful person, so. I think that if there are alternative pathways and people willing to just get out there and embrace and uplift teachers, I don't seek to attack my fellow educators. I just want us to be really intentional about what we're doing, aware of what we're doing, and the impacts that it's having on young people and communities. And right now, many of the things, the default perspective in so many places is a critical social justice ideology.
You go through the whole process, man.
I hate to interrupt. But do you want to hear a quick sample of Elon Musk talking as Adrian Dittman?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
This religiosity that gender identity ideology and race ideology has taken on in our culture, we need to address it because our enemies, foreign and domestic, are using our marketplace for free ideas against us at this time, and they're completely just subverting all things and doing what they seek to do, which is to dismantle and destroy. And it's being very effective, unfortunately, with the complicity of the mass media, which I've learned a lot about from having my story get into the mass media spectacle that. Quite saddening as someone who used to teach media literacy. I'm going to have to revise my courses because our media is totally ideologically captured, and it's really sickening and saddening to see. I'm sorry, you got me talking. Sorry.
What did you think about Elon Trump interview?
I thought it was wonderful. That was so inspiring to hear people talking about.
So Elon has these two people. They're like Russians that I believe work with him. His name is Wiggle, and the other guy's name is Blaze. Anyways, like he has like an educator up there, When he starts talking, I'll interrupt and play him for you. But it's 100% Elon Musk is Adrian Titman.
To be seen.
Not to be seen. I mean, you can go there right now and you can prove it to yourself.
I'll be the judge of that.
I don't know why you guys are so hesitant to even, or why you guys even push back. I mean, I'm not like here to spread misinformation or lies.
Hey, first off, man, I'm a suspect to anything. You know,
John, I agree with this take. I think Elon does voice his opinions through alias.
100%, yeah.
I don't think it's controversial to say that at all.
Yeah, but many people do. That's not the point of contention. Go ahead, Luke.
Carson, you just want to have something to be contentious about. It is specifically 100% Elon Musk. There is nobody pretending to be Elon Musk and can sound like that and talk about what they're talking about and have the organization that he's doing it in.
I like my theory way better. I think my theory. What's your theory?
Okay, here he's talking. Listen to this.
No, that's just random processing. Now that just happens. Like when you drop a really good take, and there's not an instant response. That means that we're just kind of processing, and we're having an actual conversation. Because I feel like normally when you have a space or any kind of public setting, everybody has a bunch of talking points that they want to address, and they just come out of the gate with that right away, and they're just waiting for every opportunity to kind of
Is there anybody else in the world that talks like this? No, this is fucking Elon Musk.
Here we're just basically having an actual conversation. All of this is improvised. All of this is.
This is live stream right now. X Space is Adrian Titman.
Yeah, sometimes there are periods of silence where people are trying to process what to kind of come up with next. I mean, it's a lot of heavy data that you just brought here. So yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, really cool, and yeah, definitely come up more frequently if you want to be
Elon,
frequent speaker, because that's really cool.
Well, thank you. I'm more of a Lord.
Bob, and has it running around Twitter on its own.
Oh, is this the year 2500? I'm sorry, pardon Will, but there's this guy. He's a real human being. His name is Elon, and he's sitting there on X Spaces talking right now under a fake name, a burner account called Adrian Titman.
Nope, Elon built Adrian Titman. It's a robot, and it just sounds like him.
Bro, you probably don't even know how to tie your shoes. I hate to tell you.
So yeah, thank you.
I wear Velcro. I don't have to.
Also, quick question: what do you think of this show? I've seen you be around here quite frequently. What do you make of this? Honest review.
Oh, I love it. I'm someone I love to learn about different things.
Anyways, it's definitely Adrian Titman. I just think it's amazing that a fucking guy worth $100 billion wants to have an evening podcast show. It's like, if I had $100 billion, I'd be on my fucking yacht with 12 women, fucking, what's his face?
Billionaires don't do podcasts. That's the whole thing. That's why everybody knows that your boy Patrick McDavid, who is from the tribe and is not a billionaire, despite the amount of.
He's not Jewish, bro. He's Persian, but he's not. He's a Muslim.
He's a Persian Jew.
No fucking way that guy's Jewish.
He owns 1% of the Yankees, dude.
So what? He's not Jewish, man. That guy's like a fucking Muslim Iranian.
Is it a full 1%?
It's a full 1%. He said he's gonna buy 2 now.
Wow. What's 2% of 98%?
Randy Jackson, the black dude. Randy Jackson offered the highest bid for a piece of, I can't remember what sports company, and the Jews didn't let him.
Oh my God, the Jews. Listen, we were talking about you earlier when your children, they say, Daddy, we're over here. Daddy, we're over here. You're over there talking about the Jews, Daddy. We're over here, Daddy. Is that what it's like having adopted Ukrainian children?
Oh my God, dude, you don't even want to know about the oldest one. It's if you think I'm like a hot take, you have no idea. Regular Nick Fuentes over there. What's my issue? I learned actually. That's what's great. That's something you're never gonna understand, John. Not until you stop shooting blanks. Get on a better diet. You will learn from your children. They will teach you. You created them, but they're teaching you. It's amazing.
he was pontificating earlier about vasectomy. That was a pretty interesting hot take. But I mean, I did agree with him to the point, like, why are you getting this unnecessary surgery? Especially when, like, medical malpractice is what, like a top 10 killer. You probably don't use them a whole lot. So they rock.
Yeah. Like I was listening to one and the RF interference was so bad because I have this a very good turntable, but this damn turntable requires like 2 separate power supplies. There's like one's a preamp and the other one's like the control. I guess it's the power supply for the turntable, so they're kind of like stacked.
Is it old school?
Yeah.
It's an old turntable?
Well, it's not old, it's newish.
Really? Like within the last 5 years, and it requires 2 power supplies?
Yep. Here, I'll take a picture of it.
What's the
Wasted
brand?
money in a place that the federal government never should have stepped into to begin with.
Yeah.
Chinese?
And
Or
no.
or Taiwan?
It's European.
Really?
Hold on. I'm sorry,
This I think is interesting because you mentioned a point with funding. I think there will be, okay, so let's imagine the hypothetical scenario that Trump in fact wins, and there will be this government efficiency commission, which basically seeks to do garbage collection for laws, stuff that should exist, and just basically making governance more efficient, thereby also effective. I think funding would definitely be a part
And
of
so,
that. What do you
if
think
that's
about
not fucking Adrian Dittman, he just talked to Trump about wanting to be appointed to the fucking efficiency new government board. So, where's fucking T-Robs? That piece of shit can pay me my money right now.
No, that's not. Like you said, he was gonna get found out. That was it. But at the same time, that dude is too confident, man. Elon pauses a whole lot more than that. So
Bro,
the sound is similar.
It's not a similar... Karsten, you're sitting here on Clown House. If you really wanted to prove it, all you have to do is go look at the guy's profile. It doesn't matter. I don't need to convince anybody of anything because it's not like I'm getting paid to convince you of shit.
Why are you in a hurry? Why are you in a hurry to play it for everybody?
Because I'm just excited. I'm excited that I have an exclusive. Okay, this is like coming on Clown House and figuring out who somebody is who's very popular, and they have tons of credibility.
You're not the only one that has thought that. He's been asked directly. He's denied it.
Princessa, you are in love with a married man that has adopted a Ukrainian family. You are part of the stupid process that I'm trying to liberate. It really doesn't matter. You're wasting your time.
You're wasting your time. You didn't change your deal. Diego has an app.
Bro, I have people following me on YouTube.
We have it built into Spaces.
Okay, listen, you low IQ people. I'm here to help liberate you. I have people following me now on YouTube because they follow my Adrian Dittman, Elon Musk accounts, and they know for a fact that it's fucking Adrian Dittman.
So because we
Five
didn't
Adrian Dittmans, every way you can spell it.
because we're low IQ, you're in here trying to convince us. Thank you. Thank you for wasting your time, sir.
It's a privilege.
Dan, I'm gonna be honest, it's a cool theory, but it's very much a midwit theory. Like, it's the first thing everyone thinks instantly when they hear it.
Exactly.
But Nora, you're the one wasting your time.
Listen, Diego, I'm sure you'd fuck Nora in a second, just in the same way that I would fuck her in a second. But you have an adopted Ukrainian family and an old jalopy that you have to service, bro. How the fuck are you gonna support a hot, fat piece of ass like that when you got fucking, oil change bills to pay?
Ooh, he knows. I just changed my oil today.
Have you fucked anybody off this app yet, Diego? Because I have.
Wow.
One of his many habits already.
Pull that off.
I fucked this piece of shit Jew-hating bitch, but, she was not that bad, but she wasn't that great either.
Is that Tiffany? You talking about Tiffany?
No, I shouldn't dox her. I won't say her name.
Say her username.
You probably know her. She got stoned and went neurotic and roamed around my neighborhood for like 4 hours.
And then you were like, okay.
And then I drop her off at the fucking airport. She misses her flight. I have to go back and pick her up, and I had to buy her a fucking plane ticket for the next day. She was horrible.
Because you didn't want to be with her any longer. We've all been there.
I couldn't. I was so glad she was finally gone. And then she's like, "Fuck, I missed my flight. Can you come pick me up?" I was like, "Oh, fuck." And actually, this was during peak COVID. She got vaccinated and she went to Lollapalooza, and then I fucked her, and I'm pretty sure she almost killed me with like the viral shedding from her vaccine. So she literally almost killed me. I was curled up in a ball for 3 days with COVID-19 because her fucking bitch ass. Oh.
You're open about that.
If you dropped her off at the airport, how did you miss her flight?
I don't know. She fucked it up somehow, or she had the wrong time. I don't know. She fucked it up. She's a klutz.
Carson set you up. You're supposed to say she couldn't walk right. We couldn't make it time.
Oh, I definitely taxed that ass. I assure you of that. But
Did you though? Did you?
oh, I did.
You sound like the kind of guy that uses a rubber.
I'm pretty sure I fucked her without a rubber. I mean, she's kind of hot, but she's a total ditz.
Hey, his sperm must be black. No swimmers.
Mm-hmm. Could be right about that. Because there's been enough hot, beefy injections. You know, I don't have children, so.
I keep hearing that's like shockingly common nowadays.
Oh, especially with vaccinated people? Oh my god. I got vaccinated in the army, so it's possible that they sterilized me in the military.
No, people who study this say like sperm count's like decreasing like 1% per year population.
It's probably the plastics too, the forever plastics we're constantly eating, the credit card we have every lunch, every month.
Yeah, 100%.
That's right. You wear those synthetic underwear because you're always like posting pictures on your Instagram.
Synthetic underwear? Where the fuck do you buy that?
You wear that lycra shit.
You know who this veteran is. He had to deal with a lot of new technologies, kind of trained his brain to be able to utilize a lot of new things in various scenarios that are unpredictable. So he's kind of trained for that. But what exactly does a politician do, right? They have to deal with certain types of legislation most of the time. They have to read a lot of stuff. They have to kind of listen and network with different people. And then...
Yeah, that's just some guy named Peter pretending to be Elon Musk that lives in like, you know, St. Louis, Missouri or something. Huh.
I mean, it was an interesting conversation. It might be worth listening to regardless of whether it is...
Well, the thing is, it's just like any other clown house room. It's a short-term dopamine feedback loop, but you happen to be listening to one of the richest men in the world as opposed to fucking some schwartz on this app screaming about her fucking hair or some shit.
John, we found out the other day through a sophisticated debate between Randy and McLovin that Ataturk was a Jew. That's what
Who?
it's all about. That's what makes Clown House worth it.
Who?
Ataturk, the guy who made Turkey like a secular state.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Are you sure he was Jewish?
The guy who turned it into a godless state. That's right. Got it.
How do you know he was Jewish?
That's right.
Because we went into the early life section.
So what, he had a bar mitzvah, his fucking dad was named Samuel, or what the fuck, what kind of evidence do you have to suggest that this motherfucking guy was a Jew?
All of the above. Well, you want me to like rehash this amazing conversation?
No, not really. But I tell you what, I have Theodore Herzl's autobiography or biography, and it says that he bribed the head of the Ottoman Empire to get Israel national recognition.
That's the guy.
That was Ataturk?
Yeah.
I thought it was the Sultan.
No.
I have it right here. Do you want me to read to you where it says that he looked into... No, I don't have it. But it's... Do I have it here? Yeah, I do have Theodore Herzl.
You didn't really have to bribe him, man.
It says that Theodore Herzl listen to this part. This is at the very end. It says, he regarded my achievement as immense. I told Vanberry he had accomplished more than he promised. To this, the letter responded, you are a noble character because you have not belittled my service. He believes we will get the charter soon. Vanberry is willing to go to Constantinople in September. In the meantime, I shall draft a plan of a charter for him, which he will lay before the Sultan, whose signature he will ask, without a minister or secretary knowing anything about it. Encouragement beyond Herzl's calculations. Even in Vienna, in the skeptical office of the new Freie Presse, the ribbon of the Grand Cordon was impressive. The comment Moritz Benedict bestowed upon Herzl's achievement was the ultimate of German appreciation and surprise. Colossal. I mean, what have you accomplished in your life? Have you ever actually created a modern day state? I haven't. Seems like a pretty fucking big accomplishment to me.
That's a big one. It takes more than just one person. Yeah.
Well, that's why they think that it was divine intervention. And there's a thing in this book where it says that when the Sultan looked at Theodor Herzl's face, he saw the Spirit of God resting on his face. Like you could see something in his eyes, which was some type of power. Whether you believe that was an evil power?
Which God that is.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's philosophically, Kabbalah says that the devil and God or Yahweh is the same entity. But the belief is, huh?
That's what Randy says.
Yeah, it's the belief that good and evil, that God is comprised of not just good, but also evil. And how can you create Satan or Lucifer unless you have the ability to create evil? So, it's philosophy more than anything else. And your Jewish derangement syndrome is to the detriment of your children and to your wife because you have a neuroses. As opposed to being addicted with going to the gym and working on that fat stomach of yours or your big, love handles, you choose to come on a social audio chat app and get your drug dopamine feedback looping by talking about the Jews.
Why can't it just be as simple as...
Why can't you lose weight every time you bring up the Jews? I think that's the real technical problem that you're dealing with.
Why can't it just be so simple like, oh, who hurt you? Oh, it was a pack of Jews? Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, imagine every time you say Jew, you lose like 100 calories.
Why do you have to accuse me of being a Jew?
You look like a Jew. You sound like a Jew. I don't know why you don't think you're a Jew. You are more Jewish than I am, Rabboinei Shalom. You're the one with the money. You're more fucking Jewish than
You're
Jews.
trying to take me Lucky Charms, dude.
No, that's T-Rob's problem. He's worried about the leprechaun syndrome. You're worried about the Jewish syndrome. It's the same thing, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so I've heard him refer to the leprechauns as the grapplers.
The grapplers.
The grapplers. Have you not heard about this?
The grapplers? No.
Hold on.
What?
I'll explain.
Hey, I just went on retard to TikTok. Thank
Is
goodness that's back.
basically the issue of the person. At the same time, should we limit the access to knowledge to chemistry? Absolutely. The fuck we shouldn't, because we need freedom in that regard as well. Right? So there should be freedom on all these levels. If you choose to use your knowledge for bad and to then say,
Start talking about Palestine.
make meth, then you yourself should suffer the consequences. There's laws for this, right? If you get caught, of course, because you'll always get caught at some point,
12 years ago?
you will then suffer the consequences of your actions, And the same thing also, I think, applies to kitchen utensils like knives. You imagine you have a kitchen knife. This thing can cause a lot of damage. Somebody can take this, go through London, start stabbing people like this actually had happened at one point. Or you can use it to cut your fucking onions.
First, in today's tough economic times, money stresses can really be overwhelming.
Yeah, but help is on the way. Author Christine Eckert is here to show us some exercises to reduce stress. Hi, Christine. Hi, Jim and Tracy. Christine, I'm so glad you're here on the
Problem visualization. It's a simple method for reducing stress by assigning an image to represent your anxiety. Sounds simple enough. Okay, the first thing I like to do is imagine my money-related stress as the most disgusting, terrifying creature I can think of. I like to imagine an ugly
this, there's that. I'm like, yeah, there's limitations on everything. Of course there are. But you should have the freedom to act. It's just like saying, I'm going to take all your fucking guns. It's the same shit. The gun itself does nothing. It's just it does something bad in the wrong hands. It's an inert machine. And AI is just the exact same fucking thing. AI can be used to do anything. It can be used to, say, rewrite a program to have less lines in it so it's less bulky because code is shit these days most of the time, right? There's, of course, talented examples of people just doing this with their brains more effectively than AI ever could, but like, imagine that as an example, for instance, right? You can use it to do this, or you can use it to write malware. There's a difference. You can use it to do both those things. Does it mean that it should be restricted from writing malware? Probably not. But the restrictions shouldn't apply in this case because another person could say, okay, here's the thing. I need to build this thing that is super secure to defend against very particular types of attacks. Do you know what these attacks usually are? And how can you write code that basically defends against these attacks, or at least doesn't even have these attack vectors open? If it doesn't know how to do this kind of stuff, like say, for instance, generate fucking...
Okay, that's not Elon Musk. That's some guy named fucking Bob that lives in Los Angeles who pretends to be Elon Musk through Adrian Dittman's account.
Wait a second. What if it is Elon Musk when he turns on the Neuralink, and that's why he's speaking without the stutters? That means my theory was the closest. Wait, what was your theory?
Well,
it's AI. He built an AI, and it sounds like it.
No, bro.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. I agree.
Oh my god, you fucking retards. It's not AI. Grok is his AI build out, not a profile named Adrian Dittman. Okay, Will, pardon. Pardon, when was the last time you actually cleaned your pipe out, brushed your beard, cleaned your ears?
Yeah, but seriously, this guy that builds multiple things in multiple times, can't be working on something that we don't know about. It's all open source.
Okay, you guys aren't listening. Listen to him. Go to his Instagram right now, or his ex. It's called Adrian Dittman. Listen to him for just 10 minutes and be like, fuck. Okay, that is Elon Musk.
Yeah, but his speech pattern, though.
His speech pattern. Okay, are you doing a real thorough analysis of his speech patterns or something?
Okay, all right.
Rico, there's a lot of people that do think actually that there are some already
Do you seriously think that this isn't happening already? Do you seriously think that there's no internet forums and shit like this? I mean, really? Really, are we going to forget what Anonymous is? Are we going to forget all the stuff that's been busted recently? Do you think that's not happening anymore? What about this massive botnets that everybody keeps closing off? Do you think that doesn't exist anymore? No, it's worse now. But it's not because of AI. It's always been worse because it's the internet. Everything's everywhere. Somebody can literally send you a little fucking script in a text, and that's it. It's done, You go on fucking Discord, somebody sends you a .txt file with a whole ass script in it, maybe an entire library. Like fucking, some dude sends you 3 megabytes of a .txt. That's insane. The amount of data in that is insane, right? So that's your issue. That's your issue.
Even if they've been in the same room at the same time, I mean, the guy has 2 phones. One of the phones has Adrian Dittman on it. The other one has Elon Musk, or he just rotates between accounts. But it's the same fucking person, for Christ's sake. And if you don't think, I don't know why you actually think it's controversial to even believe it. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm done with it. Thanks for entertaining me.
Hey, we're saying the truth is out there, man. We watch the X-Files. I'm like, but
it's not a fucking science fiction drama. It's a guy with a nom de plume, you fucking idiots.
Look, come on, man. Look,
you're Americans. How the fuck do you think the founding fathers trolled the government? They did it with nom de plume through the Federalist Papers. It's the same fucking thing.
The exact same thing.
Yeah, but he's not trolling. He's not really going off the rails and saying anything astronomically.
Right. This is good because there's been struggle, and the same thing also I think applies to AI. This is a long, drawn-out conversation. What applies with AI? I think.
He also hasn't dropped the N-word yet. If you had an alternate account,
he doesn't. He's not a fucking bigot. He's not a racist asshole.
Hey, Pardon, I wouldn't have to.
he would, of course, that's true.
This ain't Clown House. This is fucking X Spaces. He's a professional. He's not going to go on X Spaces and start talking about the N word. He goes on there. He talks about political issues, education, the woke mind virus, everything else under the sun. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
So he talks about the same stuff Elon talks about.
Exactly.
Okay, so why have an alternate if you're just gonna say?
Because he can't even do it under the Elon account. He's got 200 million followers. You break the fucking platform with those numbers. He's got 100,000 as Adrian Dittman. It's manageable.
What do you mean he manages his own account? If he's saying the exact same thing Elon's saying, what's the point of having two accounts?
Because he's a fucking public figure running Tesla, and he's not going to go and fucking muck his shit up.
He's not saying anything different. That's my point. It's not like he's saying anything controversial.
That's why it's easy to ascertain that it's the same fucking person. The fuck?
Oh,
it makes no logical sense.
To throw everybody off the scent of the shit he's already said.
He doesn't give a fuck about throwing people off the set. He knows that the cat's out the bag and that he's already been revealed as Elon Musk. It's all over the internet. He knows his game is up.
Did you spend any time like watching any of that Q stuff?
I am Q, dude. I was putting out all kinds of Q content.
No, I'm just asking.
That one I do believe. I would easily see Edmund being Q.
I put out, so if you went on Facebook and you typed in hashtag, what was it, Q? Or anyways, it's just content. I don't understand. It's all delusional content. It's all just a bunch of nonsense. We know who the enemies are. It's obvious. It's four people primarily. Bill Gates is one of them.
What's wrong with Bill Gates?
He's a fucking eugenicist, population vaccinologist that wants to kill you.
He also wants us to not eat meat, even though he's not going to follow that same shit.
He's trying to vaccinate the cows so they stop farting and warming the world up. Kick him! Kick him! Kick him! Kick him! Kick him!
He's also, chill out, man. He's also saying that Bill Gates is going to vaccinate the population through mosquitoes and shit too. That I don't really
through the meat, through the fucking meat.
There's a lot of people from Africa that die from malaria, so anything you can do to stop that, I think it's a positive sign.
How about we give him hydroxychloroquine? That seems to work.
From malaria.
Beliefs of outrage.
Yeah, it's an anti-malaria medicine. That's what it's primarily used for.
Carson was correct.
Okay, so yeah, give him hydroxychloroquine. That's fine.
It's actually really cheap too.
Very cheap.
Okay. Then let's do it.
Probably more cost effective than trying to vaccinate everybody through mRNA mosquitoes.
I mean, you start with the nets. I mean, you have to start from somewhere.
It's a dangerous drug. It will make you lose your eyesight. You have to get your eyes checked.
So, would you rather be dead or would you rather have
What did you all say you were using it for again?
Anti-malaria. Which it's actually used widespread in Africa, and I believe Haiti as well. And they were saying that is probably one of the reasons why they didn't get hit as hard with COVID. But you didn't hear that from me though. That's what allegedly I heard.
I think
Haiti has all kinds of other issues.
what was in the news yesterday was that Bill Gates wants to vaccinate the cow population to reduce their farts and belches to prevent global warming. But farmers have done their own calculations and they find that cows are actually net negative to CO2 emission based on the amount of food they eat and process. Like their farts are not what's causing the problem. There is no problem. The problem is the woke mind virus of the liberal, Democrat, Marxist, fascist terrorists that want to blame ourselves for destroying our environment when it's primarily the fucking Chinese and Indians that are making all of our shit that we consume.
Hey, you remember like in 2007 or 8, one of the propositions some of these people were saying that to solve the global warming problem was they were going to shoot glass into the
atmosphere and have that space junk floating around to reflect rays of the sun away from the earth. These motherfuckers are actually proposing that shit. What could go wrong, right?
Carson, are you ready for the DNC convention tomorrow?
No.
Are you not going to Chicago to protest?
Fuck no, I ain't going to Chicago to protest. Why the fuck would I go to Chicago to protest?
Because that's where everyone's going.
Everybody's not going there. Are you going to Chicago to protest?
I would love to like lead an assault.
No, but there's a good list of people that are heading out there.
I would love to.
I'm not on that list.
How much would it take for you to come to Chicago? You get full combat gear, tons and tons of bear spray.
Boarded up a bunch of businesses like in preparation.
Imagine trying to create like a civil war, like by attacking the protesters and then getting them like super pissed. I think that would be fucking awesome.
I didn't want to
there's a large group of like a couple of thousand like from Val City people that their organization they got a license to protest in Grand Park. So I'm sure it'll be pretty good.
Did you hear about that domain that they registered? boardupbusiness.com?
What do you mean? So they can get business out of this?
Alright, you should go to this. There's a particular website or whatever to board up your business or whatever, and they actually get traffic.
Adrian, your feedback is really bad.
I know.
You just stand outside of the
And then Diego, I don't go to protests.
I mean, that's like the same business as like these fucking Venezuelan guys that like put up Burger King shoulders here.
yeah, like just stand outside of the Louis Vuitton store, like on Michigan Avenue. I'm sure.
Hey,
As
Rico.
they started, as they're marketing, you can just like sneak a first or two minutes.
I don't fucking steal. And then Rico, Adrian was talking
It's not
earlier.
called stealing. It's called
No, that's fucking stealing. Hey, Rico, Adrian was he was talking about domains earlier, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
Devin or John?
John.
Oh, okay.
I have a couple of domains that are worth a good amount of money. No.
I own notkosher.com like 20 years ago.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's a good name for a dating site, if you don't want me to get
These cops are gonna arrest these people.
Take a look at the chat. I'm posting a link to a Free Palestine protest that I filmed, where I called them all communists, and it turns out that many of these people are actually Jewish. That's the irony of the whole situation, is that it was on.
That's right. You're in Chicago, so you're like the first
Yeah, it was all. I was like, "Why are you doing this?" They're like, "Because what's happening is genocide, and the military-industrial complex is doing all this." I was like, "But you're Jewish," and they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, good Shabbos," and they're like, "Good Shabbos." I was like, "Wow, fucking retards." But
For the same reason that the Rothschilds sent his sons all over the world, right?
no, these people have nothing to do with anything like that. They're just misguided young people, and they got arrested. And I was like, you do realize this is going to go on your permanent record? Like, you're going to have to spend $10,000 getting an attorney. You're going to get all these fines, and they didn't give a fuck. And there was some Jewish handler supervising the whole thing, this fat piece of shit. And I said, if that fat piece of shit doesn't get arrested, why the fuck are you going to risk your fucking time and life for that fat piece of shit? And he looked at me and I was like, yeah, look at you, you Craig Mark looking motherfucking piece of shit. I'm almost sure that this fucking piece of shit Jew bastard worked for Soros. I was like, I guarantee you, this fucking nonprofit NGO fucking little bitch. He watched all of his people get arrested, but he didn't get arrested. I was like, I said to the officer, can you arrest this fat piece of shit too? I'm pretty sure you should arrest that fat piece of shit. And he's like, fuck you, man. Fuck you, man. I was like, fuck you, man.
So, Chicago cheeseburger. You should go out and, with the GoPro when once the thing starts.
I was thinking about taking a couple cans of bear spray and just spraying down all the protesters. What do you think about that idea?
No, that's not a good idea.
Why not? If I can get them to breach the fence and assault the DNC, like I could help change the world by evoking martial law through subversive means.
The convention is at the United Center?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay, yeah, so that's like in the middle of a parking lot, so they're gonna have like a huge perimeter.
Well, they actually believe in walls now. They erected the largest wall north of the southern border, and they believe now also in verified identification. They don't just let anybody cross through. You have to be an invited guest. So it turns out they're actually much more Republican than they let off.
Wait, are they checking IDs?
Of course.
But isn't it racist to check someone's ID?
Yeah, these are undocumented immigrants. They're not illegal aliens. There's nothing illegal happening, and they're just waiting for citizenship. Be patient and give people the time that they need.
That's exactly what I argued for my wife.
And you can see how that worked out. He's on Clown House instead of spending time with his family.
Or maybe he spends too much time with his family. Maybe he needs a break.
I think he wants to fuck Princessia. Princessia, you would fuck him. You would fuck him, wouldn't you, Princessia?
That's right. Diego, were you in San Diego for Comic-Con or no?
No, bro, Comic-Con's not my...
Oh, it was. Yeah, I never end up going. Like, I gave my passes to a friend of mine.
You gave your passes away. Why do you have passes to Comic-Con? Are you 12 or something?
No,
it's for, there was like, there's like businesses
But I missed Robert Downey Jr. returning to Marvel.
Yeah, see, something like that I would never go to. Like, I go there to make networking, make contacts.
David, do you ever actually get laid? Do you do anything just to get your dick sucked or to fuck a hot piece of ass, or is it always just fucking business?
I'm not gonna answer that question.
I knew you
You
wouldn't.
don't have to answer that.
It's because you don't get laid. You're an incel.
What's wrong with incels?
I don't know. Talk to Princessia. She must be into incels.
Diego, when Rennie was wanting you to read, I don't know if it was Psalms or Proverbs. It was like 2 minutes and then he fell asleep. Do you realize that?
Did I fall asleep?
Yeah.
Randy got in trouble.
Yeah, you fell asleep. Yeah. You were like out cold.
Was I snoring?
Slightly, yeah.
Oh my god.
And Randy was like, okay, go ahead, Diego. I'm like, you asleep? And before I wanted to apologize to you, I felt bad. I left quickly. Like you were trying to get the conversation off you, and I left. And I was,
I was in one of my Jewish clubhouse rooms earlier today, and they brought up Randy's name. It's like.
Wait, did you just say one of my Jewish clown house rooms? What makes the Jewish clown house room your Jewish clown house room?
And they posted his profile, and like, everyone, make sure you block this person talking about Randy. He's like, he's an anti-Semite, like, make sure you block him. And everyone was like, okay, I'm blocking him.
and you didn't even defend him. What offense you want?
listen to me either when I was.
Who was coming out? Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Were they calling him an anti-Semite too?
No.
Nah, they're for different reasons.
I mean, how can we be an anti-Semite if we have two Semites in here? Well, one real Semite and one claimed Semite. Igor is the real Semite.
Listen, it's not the Semites that have to worry about your anti-Semitism. It's your family which is suffering your neuroses.
Mama Jana.
I mean, he did run away when he approached him.
You know you're not from a particular location when you have to wear sunblock to live there.
Hey, whenever you play your records, Diego, does it open up, or do you just put in like a CD?
Oh, can you see the power supplies?
Yeah, I can now.
No. It's a turntable.
Oh, so those are the power supplies?
Yeah, it's an expensive
That's
one.
crazy looking, man. Like, why the hell is it so damn big?
Yeah, I know.
Wait,
Because-
Diego, did you get blocked or whatever?
Blocked?
Yeah, is this a new account?
Not that new.
Said add back.
Yeah, he did.
I know, but like I clicked on your thing and it said add back. So
It could be a glitch, because the app used to unfollow people every so often.
So I got the vinyl for Furiosa.
Oh,
the Mad Max.
I shared with my students as well. So to
That's
find
on rotation right now on Max on HBO. I gotta watch that.
Is that a good score?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's like 90% Rotten Tomatoes.
No. I'm talking about the musical score.
It feels like a continuation of Fury Road. So it's very.
Yeah, Mad Max. They have some great. Yeah, the music in Mad Max is
It's by Junkie XL.
Master Blaster!
That's a good one too. That's my least favorite of the Mad Max movies. So check this out, PTR Carson.
So Diego, have I talked to you about Dune or no?
You know, I'm not a Dune guy.
But you saw Dune Part 2, right?
No, I didn't, because I could barely watch part 1. Like, I got like 45 minutes of that movie. Yeah, and I was like, oh shit.
It's actually like so I saw Dune Part 2, and I thought it was really good. I was curious about your opinion about it if you haven't seen it. So.
Dude, I watch a lot of black and white movies. A lot. I just watched Gilda.
It sounds
with Rita
racist.
Hayworth.
Well, the only black and white part of Dune 2 was Network Planet.
There's a lot of concepts that they try to get from the book, right? And I don't know if that does well for the general audience. It's not necessarily like into that kind
Can
of lore.
psychedelics help a beautiful woman fall in love?
Because I really wasn't into Dune like that, and my buddy was like, he loved the books, and he told me about a bunch of stuff, and we watched, within the month, we had watched the original movies, some of, I guess, a little bit of a show they had made back in the day, and then the first Dune, and then we went to the theaters, like toward the end of the month, and watched Dune 2. I thought it was well done. I just thought there was parts where it seemed like the play a little long. I don't know. But I mean, if Diego couldn't keep his interest because of like the length or whatever, that's an issue.
Like, I typically watch all movies all the way through, because I leave a review on every movie I watch. Unless I didn't finish it, then I don't leave a review.
What's your favorite Jewish film?
I was stuck in Palm Springs waiting for a flight, so I went to the movie theater to watch Deadpool, and I didn't think it was that great. I got tired of it like halfway through. I was like falling asleep. It was not a great movie.
I mean, I thought the best part of the movie was Channing Tatum.
That's the worst part of the movie, man. That's the worst part of the movie, man. He played a horrible Gambit.
I thought that was fucking hilarious.
That Orlok. Oh, that accent was.
Did you see the interviews where like as a kid all he wanted to be was Gambit?
That's what's so funny about it.
That YouTube short where the dude played Gambit did a better job than Channing Tatum. Way better job.
No, I think
Have you seen these memes where like have you seen these Gambit memes? They're really fucking funny.
No, I really haven't.
I think you're calling him short person. You gotta give him a chance.
No. Cause I watched both of them, and this one was actually good. Like I know Creole people, and that accent is so atrocious. I cannot detect that.
I think it's okay.
No, it's fucking trash, man.
You have like the idea of like the X-Men like 1997 or whatever in your head of like what Gambit is.
Yeah, but I mean, he's trying to play like a Creole person with that heavy like accent or whatever, almost like the French. Like French is his like first language, and this is a no-no. The dude on YouTube did a way better job. This is like Keanu Reeves' Devil's Advocate. Crazy.
Critical exposition here. Crazy.
See, that's hilarious. It's not funny. There's
That's terrible. But
hold on,
what I
like the best movie. Like
that's hilarious.
wait, Diego. Before you play that, I was gonna say like this is on the level of Keanu Reeves and Devil's Advocate. Bad accent.
yeah. Well,
this is the best.
He was bad.
Hold on, here it goes. You know how long I've been waiting for this? I'm about to make a name for myself here.
What movie is that?
Deadpool, Wolverine.
Ugh. So sick of that fucking guy. What's his name? Ryan Reynolds?
Wesley Snipes was in it. I was like, is his head bigger? Because he had like a pit bull head, man.
What was the vampire movie? Those were actually really good. The first one in particular. Blade? That was fucking awesome. And look what they did to him. They put his ass in jail.
Yeah, for income tax evasion.
Yeah, he was a part of some kind of income tax protest. Lawyer or somebody who kind of did it for him, and he paid the price because of incompetence.
Yeah, but what's funny is they wanted to make an example out of him, and he had basically like an activist judge.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to this lawyer talk about it, and like he paid the money back before he even went to jail.
Wow.
So like what he should have got a reduced sentence, but they made him like serve out damn near the whole sentence.
That's the thing is like if you think keeping your money out of a bank is gonna protect you from like a home invasion by a bunch of fucking IRS agents, they'll take everything you got. You know that one guy, Sanford and Sons, the old black guy, he lived in Vegas. He had like, show on the strip. He was worth millions and millions and millions. There's a video of him on YouTube where the IRS is raiding his house and is taking his fucking everything. And he's like, what the fuck is this shit? Motherfucking government coming in and taking all my shit. The fuck is this bullshit? Fucking bullshit. It's like, fuck. Collection agency for the Federal Reserve.
I mean, maybe that went into the comedy a bit, Diego, but apparently he signed on to play Gambit when Fox was going to make a standalone movie. But then when Fox got bought out, or at least the X-Men got bought out after, the bankruptcy or whatever, like they shelved all that shit.
Can we have John do the accent? Because he's a master of accents. I bet he can do it. John.
Who do you want me to imitate?
I want you to imitate Channing Tatum's Creole accent.
Channing Tatum's Creole accent. That's very specific. I don't know if I can just pull off Channing Tatum out of my mind right now. Sorry.
Hold on, let me play it so you can hear it.
What was the stripper movie he was in?
Oh, I haven't hit it. How long I've been waiting for this. I gotta make a name for myself here. You know how long?
Crazy.
I hate that guy.
I feel like you're missing critical exposition here. Crazy.
What movie was that? It's very funny though.
Come on, you can
Oh.
do it for real.
He was in that movie?
Yeah, he's like the best part.
He played Gambit. Wesley Snipes played the movie, and they even got old girl to play. Was it with the katana?
What was Gambit's power? He could charge things with energy and then they would explode?
Yeah.
So what happens when he beats his meat? Picks his nose.
He can control his powers now.
Can he transport that energy into any object?
Jennifer Garner was what the fuck is the chick's name?
Electra.
Yeah, there you go. That was actually a terrible version of Electra too.
Yeah,
Rabbi, I told T-Robs that like after he left, we started laughing at him, and we were laughing about how we shut the room down and destroyed it, and he was so pissed. He's like, "Fucking Rabbi said that, motherfucker."
He didn't say that.
He did. He was pissed. He's like, "Fucking Rabbi said that, fucking motherfucker."
You know how we I destroyed it for by just asking one question.
I've heard Rabbi's name in multiple rooms. Just
I'll get this question. But all I asked is, why is it bad to be more connected to the CIA? That's it. That question destroyed the entire room.
Well, it destroyed the entire room because you refused to say anything else other than asking that totally non sequitur question with no real, point to asking the question.
The whole premise is that Epstein was bad because he was connected to the CIA, and I'm wondering why is it that if you're
That's not the premise. That's does.
I think Epstein was framed. I don't think Epstein did anything wrong. I think he was framed
By who?
by the Kites. What do you think?
You think Jewish people framed him? He was leading an independent intelligence agency, blackmailing people. He was his own fucking he was his own. He was his own agent.
Just because he's a Jew, just because he's a Jew, you just want to go after him. I get how you roll, but I'm just telling you, the guy is framed. You believe in all sorts of like.
No, he wasn't framed. He was assassinated, and his brother confirmed it on the Tucker Carlson interview.
And that's fine, but you are willing to entertain any conspiracy theory. But when it comes to the Jew, no, you want to blame him for pedophilia.
Wow, big connection.
That's
there.
what it is.
I mean, Rabbi, you're on FetLife. You've probably seen some underage pornography. I mean, what's it like being a pedophile?
But my point is,
Are you sure about that?
why would you? I mean, you guys could have said Epstein was bad because he's a pedophile. Instead, you guys chose to say Epstein was bad because he's connected to the Mossad and CIA.
No, we say he's bad because we know he was up to no good. Listen, some people, you could claim that he is James Bond. You could claim he's a 007 and that what he did was not illegal, but, let's be honest. I mean, he was scamming people, but so was P. Diddy. P. Diddy is technically the Black Epstein. He's the Black Jewish Epstein.
I mean, Mohammed, kids.
Right, so the Jews and Muslims believe nothing is wrong with pedophilia, so you have half the population believing that it's okay. So by whose authority do you say that it's not? Why, is he wrong?
Yes.
You can say he's gross, but you can't say he's wrong.
John saying?
See,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's how you don't know anything. Doesn't even
It
mention
doesn't matter.
about whatever problem.
What matters is how come being associated with the CIA by default.
Because they're a regime change operation. Diego, that chick on the right has some amazing knockers. Good God.
They still get, they can't give an answer. It's amazing. That's Tina Carano.
Oh, she is fucking hot. She looked like Rabbi. What did Bonsoir look like? The chick that you were engaged to that dumped you because you got Jewish derangement syndrome on your mind.
Her name is Bonsoir.
I mean, did she write you like a Dear John letter after it was all said and done and said like your constant Jewish derangement syndrome has impacted our relationship and I can no longer continue dating you?
I said that there's no difference between Bonsoir and JF Garepi's.
Wait, Randy, when did this happen? I didn't know you guys broke up.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's essentially the same person.
But I'm still wondering what is the being bad and being associated to the CIA.
Because how many times do we have to say this to you? The CIA is known for regime change operations, which results in the shameless murder of a lot of innocent people for political goals.
Diego,
So you think you know how many people the CIA hires? So every single one of them is this guy. He's the son of the devil. Every single one of them. That's in other words, that's what you're saying.
Diego, I think I'm the only guy who really got your joke, by the way.
That's what you're saying.
What was the joke about? What was it again?
I said that Bonsoir and JF Garepi's girlfriend are essentially the same person.
Do you think that chick on the right has augmentation, or do you think those are natural?
I don't know what's the same. Yeah, I don't.
Same girl.
You can't even answer the question. I'm just wondering.
Oh, it looks like different people. Rabbi, how many times are you going to repeat the question and try to ruin the room again by just repeating yourself ad nauseum?
Okay, then take it back.
Motherfucker, change the conversation and say something else, you fucking repeating memory box. What's wrong with you? Did Bonsoir, like, you don't get your dick sucked no more, so maybe that's why you got neuroses.
That makes me wonder.
Makes me wonder, you fucking, who gives a fuck what you wonder, you camel-eating motherfucker?
Whoa. Because you are making a statement.
I didn't make a statement. I'm answering your stupid, obnoxious, repetitive question, you fucking cocksuck faggot.
Okay, well then don't say that Epstein was bad. You don't know that.
I don't say Epstein's bad. I have pictures of him hanging up in my bedroom. He's a role model to people like me. He did everything that we should be trying to do.
You're the one who said he was bad because he's linked to the CIA.
No, you made the statement, why do people think that he's bad because he's linked to the CIA? And I told you why, because of regime change.
Oh, I never asked that. Why is regime change bad?
Why does shawarma cost $4 a sandwich when you know damn well it's only $1?
I wish it cost $4. Not $1.
The shawarma place near my house is like 15 meal, dude.
Yeah, it's the best though. Do you get lamb or beef?
I mean,
I get
I agree.
You get chicken shawarma?
Yeah, chicken.
That's good shawarma.
Do you put white sauce on your shawarma?
What is that noise?
It's in my cheap burner phone.
Anyways, this just can't explain why the CIA is bad.
If you go on FetLife and you talk to 10 women and you show them your micro penis, what do they usually say in response?
Venezuela.
Maybe that's. Well, what does Venezuela have to do with the micropenis? You said red drum.
Because when Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein worked for the CIA, they analyzed your shawarma schmeckle and they said this penis is so small there's no credibility here.
Bill Gates didn't do anything. Name me one thing Bill Gates did that is wrong. Go ahead.
No problem. Dr. Fauci and the COVID-19 vaccine with, what was the name of the business he started out of thin air that sold for $100 million that Donald Trump helped build? What was it called?
About the thousands of people that he saved. So what you're saying is him being more successful than you by default makes him bad, and that makes everyone in the world is bad.
See, this is Randy's reasoning for everything. If it is bad, but it makes me money, it's good.
Hey, Diego, is that real? That's not real, is it?
Hey, Randy, did I fall asleep yesterday? What the hell happened?
Yesterday? You can't even remember yesterday. Are you kidding me?
There was no debate. I just wanted you to see Psalm 72 to see why the Messiah has to be God.
I don't care, fucking Randy. Randy, shut the fuck up. Randy, shut the fuck up. I don't fucking care. Shut the fuck up. Stop fucking talking. Go to your own fucking room. Get the fuck out of my room. I don't give a fuck. Stop fucking talking. Stop fucking talking. I don't fucking care, Randy.
I haven't heard T-Robs in a while.
It's not here. I really do believe you because like I remember turning my phone off and you guys were still talking. So I thought like I was just me getting bored.
Oh, no, because then you moved on to something else, which is how Islam wrongs make a right according to
A better understanding of how that arm of the UN does work and function. And then not just that, but the ads. I mean,
Hey Diego, is that a real picture?
No, it's obviously AI.
Yeah, well the thing about Gina Carano, I don't know if you guys know, but she comes from a very rich family. She didn't have to fight, she just chose to fight. She's built a fighter, I don't know.
Oh, she's built a porn star. Because these are fake things.
She's a UFC. She's a UFC fighter.
I'm saying like the one on the left, whatever, her face doesn't look real. The one on the left looks like AI. Yeah. Her family owns some like what sports team or something. Carano. Yeah.
Somebody kicked me from the room.
T-Time, where are you from? What part of the world?
New York, New York.
Oh, that's right. Well, I don't know. I predict that Hindus are going to take over the world at least I don't know, by maybe 2050.
I think they
I don't know about the world, but I hope at least the United States. Sorry, go ahead.
No, how are you doing, guy?
Good, thank you.
I have a question for Shiva and Karthikeyan. Do you believe in, are you guys like polytheists or do you believe in Sanatan?
You want to make this a philosophical room or what?
This is going to turn into an Islam Hindu war. Let's keep the borders. Let's keep the borders safe.
You gotta change the title, Doc.
Well, no, the title is intended to be provocative, but I get to moderate and curate the room.
Hello, my name is Adrian. I recently converted to Jinduism. I was a Jew for many years, but then I read the Upanishads and I realized that Hinduism is the truth of the light of the world, and I dropped Judaism because I realized that Yahweh is a thunder god from thousands of years ago, but Hinduism is the truth, the light, and the way. Thank you, Dr. Jordan, for letting me speak my truth.
Now, how are they with the circumcision part? Because you can't change that.
That is all just metaphor. We have superseded circumcision and we just look at the circle and we know that it is a sacred symbol. No need to cut into the schmeckle and remove the holy flesh through the covenant of Abraham. We have a symbol called the circle. That is enough.
That's the best Indian accent ever. Wow.
No, your Indian accent is even more authentic than mine, sir.
I'm always torn because some people take things, the craziest things way too seriously. I mean, I'm at fault too, but taking religion so seriously sometimes it boggles my mind. I don't really kind of get
It is because they are
when you put on
also.
the defensive for generations, doctor, when you're getting killed because of your religion, you gotta take it seriously. And we Hindus at least have taken it not very seriously for generations, and which is why we are always on the defense.
Well, I mean Westerners who are kind of in diaspora, who are safe, largely safe. They take it so seriously. There's a secularism. Even the secular Jews, for example, who take it so seriously, I'm not sure that they even know what they're fighting for half the time. But that's just my opinion.
I think when you have 5,000 wars and 2,000 years in the name of Christianity, Jordan, people do take it seriously. So sometimes, when we tease about a religion,
But they're hypocrites.
when we tease about a religion, people sometimes can't take offense. But we hope they don't.
You, sir, are confusing religious people with assholes. Assholes are the dominant form of religion today.
So true.
I think Edwin's accent is fake. It's not an Indian.
No, sir. I was born in Hyderabad. My father was what is an Indian holy man called? I forgot. He's retired now. But the point is, no, my father was an untouchable. He was born in a manger with my mother. They knew each other from birth. I'm gonna really go on a tangent here, but I just want to tell you all that if you haven't read the Upanishads or you haven't read the Tanya and the Upanishads talk about dualism or non-duality, and that means unity with the universe, and that is called cosmic consciousness, and I have already said too much.
Yes, there are Jews in India. And there are Indians in Israel that are Jewish. My friend is married to an Indian Jew.
Like Native Americans or Red Dot Indians? The Hindu.
Indians that are Jewish Indians.
But if you ever seen a Native American, the face looks like they're Ashkenazi.
No, not the one that I know. Maybe someone's.
I think that if we're going to start to offer to convert Jews and Hindus to Hinduism, we should probably go to medical schools because they are highly populated. In fact, that may be the move. That may be the next move.
When Judaism accepts that God is a black woman, then I will convert completely back to Judaism. But until the Jews accept the black woman as the God of the universe, like the Hindus and the Kali Yugas, I will never renounce my Hinduism. I will only renounce it if the Jews accept the black woman as a God. Thus, you have Kamala Harris.
Where the headquarters are for the Hindu Development Fund. Let me look at that. You can always Cash App me or Venmo me or PayPal, whatever, but let me look into it.
My mom took a minute to explain to a rabbi who used to come into our store and only talk to my father when he was alive. And after he died, he started to talk to my mother, which
Just he was on a
No, you think it's Cinderella. It's different.
Yeah, I like mixing them up. Yeah, we do. So.
And frankly, you can go to
Princessia, why did you remove me from the room? Are you afraid that I was going to get in between you and Diego's love affair?
The rabbi who bar mitzvahed me and granted Rabbi Hill Silver presided over my congregation for many years. His son Daniel Silver was quite a scholar, but the rabbi that followed him as senior rabbi, he was still on staff, I suppose. But the rabbi who followed him was censured by one of the rabbinical societies. I don't know if it's the Rabbinical Society of America, whatever it's called, for having an affair with one of the congregants, which I always thought was kind of interesting.
Is it true that Mahatma Gandhi used to sleep with like virgin women in order to boost his kundalini?
Yeah, he was a weirdo. He used to sleep. I think he used to sleep with women to control his sexual urges, to show that he can control his sexual urges. It's fucking great. But yeah, he was a weirdo.
Well, I mean, that really means that he was fucking them.
No. He was all about self-denial.
Josh, you're actually a great candidate for Jinduism. Have you thought about converting to Jinduism, Josh? So, so welcome everybody to Healthy Debates. This is More Jews Than Hindus Are Converting to Jinduism. If you don't know what Jinduism is yet, it's an amalgamation of the Jewish faith with Hinduism. It incorporates a celestial cosmic comedy show, essentially. It's like Jerry Seinfeld, but he pretends he's a Hindu. And it's very racist, but very funny.
I actually think that Adrian has so much content and is really a comedic genius. I just wish that I could get him an agent because I can make a ton of money.
Why don't you be my agent, Dr. Jordan?
Maybe I should. Yes.
Make sure you don't have that background noise when you're recommending it.
Okay. I mean, his ability, like, to improvise, to come right off to mix the kundalini into the narrative is just awesome.
You see, I am a very
I believe you live in Chicago. Are you in this line of work, or do you do improv, comedy, something like that, or what?
Yeah, I've been doing improv and comedy for a lot of years.
I mean, one of the limitations of many comics today is that they just don't have an acumen for much of anything. Like they talk about very graphic sex, and then they stop. Like they can't retrieve anything of substance, and so it kind of gets boring.
And because of the internet, these jokes keep recycling from one comic to another. I've heard the same joke over and over again from multiple people. Yeah, it's tough.
Well, I've read a lot of philosophy, so what happens is you end up becoming a self-actualization comedian, and when you talk about, I guess, the divine, it always becomes sexual, which is kind of funny. Everything ends up becoming very funny. And I think that if God is real, there has to be a component of God in terms of the joker or the comedian. God has to have a sense of humor. It's incorporated into our programming. I mean, it is the release mechanism or the catharsis that basically lets you blow off steam, but more importantly, it gives you an analog to the what was described earlier as the seriousness of, let's say, even reform religion. There's still this element of where they're missing the comedy in it. They don't see the symbol of the fool or the metaphor of the fool or the clown as being the prima causa to the wisdom that they supposedly think that they, have or have obtained.
And God does make mistakes. I mean, the avocado pit is way too large. We have parts of the human body that are way too close together that are beautiful heavens, celestial places, and then the part where people have waste come out. How did that happen?
Well, it's like Winston Churchill, he's building a fence. His neighbor's like, "Hey, Winston, your fucking fence, it's all crooked." He goes, "I can see that, but can you tell me what's right about it?" Meaning emphasize the positive and ignore the negative.
Yeah. And actually, they're both good places.
Well, anyways, Hinduism and Judaism are definitely interlinked. And if you read the Upanishads, or you read Tanya, not many Jews know about Tanya, but Tanya is really the source book of modern day um, Orthodoxy or Chabad. They don't really talk about it, but it's called Tanya, but written by the Alter Rebbe. And you could say the Alter Rebbe is like the alternative rabbi in the sense that it's like ChatGPT. It takes all this complex Torah and then boils it down and condenses it into just a very succinct book known as Tanya, and it's very advanced psychologically.
Different from the Kabbalah, the mysticism of Orthodox, right?
No, they're very similar because Kabbalah deals with, I mean, it all deals with God, but meaning that there is a higher intelligence within those books which will help you with anger management, self actualization, rationalization, reframing, all these modern day psychological techniques that we use for therapeutic purposes. It's all about therapy, really.
If you're serious, I should have read that a long time ago. I mean, the rabbi did bring that in about 40 years ago into the store. And
Yeah, I'm serious. I've read Tanya probably a couple times, and every time you read it, it's like an ego death and a cause, or like a psychedelic voyage, because you're like, whoa, this is it basically it wants to it's a neurolinguistic programming book to help you unite with Hashem, Ribono Shel Olam.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's why it's called the Alter Rabbi. I would definitely say it's probably a Jewish book on psychedelia, unbeknownst to the reader.
So, this sexual alchemy conversation that I get so much pushback on, it's very fascinating when you talk about the divine feminine and divine masculine. I got so much pushback, I decided not to bring it up, but now I reconsider. But it's very interesting, I should share it.
Yeah, you just have to visit the Hindu temple. You'll see porn all over the walls, and we literally worship the palace and the vagina. So that's that.
And certainly there are religious names.
So I don't know, Alan Watts, he says that, astronauts went into outer space, they came back, they talked to the press, and the press said, "What did you see in outer space?" The astronaut says, "We saw God," and then they say, "Well, what did he look like?" He says, "She was a black woman." So that reversal of Western evangelical thinking in terms of the Hindu realization of Kali, the black female goddess of destruction or the apocalypse, It all deals with ego death. And what ego death can help you achieve is humility, or essentially it's an anti-anxiety. And everybody's depressed, full of anxiety. So the philosophy within Hinduism with Kali deals with your ego death. And this is what all these world religions and all this esoteric occult stuff has to deal with. It's always like a beheading, whether it's Jesus Christ and John the Baptist and that whole story, or it's always a metaphor for essentially the destruction of your ego. And I don't know, that's the way I view all this religious stuff. Is it's always the same story time after time. And Eckhart Tolle really kind of boils it down to be here now, be here now. That's the source of all pragmatism, common sense, project management, is be here now, be here now. Stop with the powerful thought projections about the future.
Right, but in Hinduism we take it to the next level, and not just philosophical. I mean, the yogic practices are all about doing it from a technological perspective. Technology of yoga is a formal training in destroying the ego through practice, right? And that practice can diverge into many areas, including sex and kundalini on one side, and into samadhi and nirvana on the other side. So it's very progressive destruction of ego.
It's not necessarily a destruction of ego. It's really almost like a cessation of the automatic thinking system. And I usually do yoga every day in the sun about 4 o'clock. And as I'm doing it and I'm doing these deep breathing, I eventually recognize that my brain is automatically creating thoughts and I am not in control of it. And then I let that go. And then essentially I'm at a point where I'm no longer having thoughts. I'm just in the moment and I'm in total bliss and ecstasy. And that to me is the samadhi.
And that's higher than what we would call flow, where your brain is just moving in one direction and organized and in sync and one with what you're doing. It's higher than that.
The breathing is the big thing. It's like you're stretching and breathing, and I hyperventilate, and then I do deep diaphragmatic belly breaths. And the breathing thing is, in Hebrew it's ruach, in Latin it's spiritus. So if you think that if there's such a thing as the Holy Spirit or the presence of God, breathing is maybe a metaphor for that spirit, but we are nothing without breath. I mean, we can't exist without it. But it's also a sucking, and they say in Torah you suck at the Torah. It's like a child, sucking at the breast of the goddess mother. So there is this divine feminine within Kabbalah known as Shechina or Shekhinah, which is essentially Isis. And it's the divine feminine. The divine masculine, you could say, is is Adam, or Adam Kadmon, which is the primal man, which is not really a man, which is a trans androgyne figure, the prima causa of the species created supposedly by Hashem, Rabbeinu Shalom. I'm just saying that throughout all the world's religions, this aspect of the divine feminine always appears. And now in Islam, if you read Sufism, Rumi, you can get a better taste of Islam as opposed to like the Sunni Shia insanity of today. Rumi is basically the way to reframe Islam, and Rumi is universalist in the sense that it's wisdom and love. It's all the good things of intelligence and knowledge, as opposed to the Sharia type Islamic fundamentalism, which is more of a societal or cultural, what it is. I mean, but you have to read Rumi. Until you read Rumi, you can never really attempt to hope to rationalize the insanity of Islam.
And this is not a religious book, but I think a guy named Nestor wrote a book called Breathe, and every chapter is just another insight of how better breathing practices, explaining how our mouth has changed and gotten smaller, and how we do a good job of it, do we consciously change, can impact you, improve your life.
Yeah, there's this Jewish doctor named Dr. Marty Rossman.
So yeah, in yoga there's a branch of yoga called pranayama, which means the control of prana or breath, and there's many techniques. So I don't know how much of that they teach in the US, because in the US it's all about like physical yoga, not so much pranayama.
Yeah, the article that I posted above, I tried to convey that. I don't know if I did a good job, but these postural yoga practices are like a gimmick. Like I even partake in one, you know, and not appreciating Kundalini, thinking that, you know, yoga is really about the postural form. It's just missing the boat and everything. But, you know, what are you going to do? Americans have turned it into a fitness, have commercialized it as a fitness brand, and it's just kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's like a $10 billion industry, right? The Lululemon and the yoga mats and so on.
If your yoga teacher has studied it and does more strict, we studied in India and come here with a much more strict process. It's at a higher level.
Do you know
What does the word yoga mean?
It means union. It means yoke in Sanskrit.
Yes, thank you. And yoke is in for Islam. Isn't it interesting, like how prominent all of the matters that you were discussing are? I just wanted to bring up that there is on the Shia side Ismaili, and they're also mystical, like a Sufi aspect of which Guru was a Sufi. So I just wanted to add that on the line.
Yeah, if you ever heard Qawwali music, it's like Pakistani Sufi music. It's really awesome music. It's called Qawwali.
Yeah, so by the way, I mean, this is just me projecting my ideas on Islam. I mean, I think a lot of Sufism that came into Islam was after Islam came in contact with the East, with India. When they were attacking India from the northwest, you know, that's when Sufism started to emerge. And the Qawwali music is a very shoot of the Bhakti tradition of Indian music, Indian devotional music. That's where Qawwali kind of came. Which is why it is prominent in India and Pakistan, but not in Saudi Arabia.
I would say also that Sufism, you could say that it is actually the very dangerous aspect of Islam, because it's superpositioned, or it's totally irrational, meaning that if there's no atheists in a foxhole or on a life raft, there's no Shia or Sunni Muslims who are not Sufi as they're conducting Islamic terrorist operations. Because how do you get yourself so psyched up to go kill people and in the name of Allah or in the name of Islam, unless you're viewing it through a mystical lens to rationalize your heinous behavior?
So how would Adrian and Shiva, how would you describe the ego of the jihadist? Is that something you can reflect on?
Yeah, so I want to go back to what Adrian was saying about Sufism. In India, it was in the Sufi dargahs, in the Sufi temples, if you will, is where the Hindu women were being sold in the sex slavery market. The Sufis did all of that, not the Shias of the Sufis. So yeah, Sufism has a very dangerous side to it as well. The only thing is they are into music, which the other people are not, and some kind of a transcendental kind of meditation. But yes, it can also be violent. And Doctor, to your question, yeah, I mean, see, you know, the thing about Hinduism is that it's so diverse and it's so unifying. You can find an excuse for pretty much anything in Hinduism, right? But to be more specific, suffering and karma are a big part of Hinduism. So I mean, you cannot cause suffering. And karma means that your actions have consequences. No God is going to save you from the consequences of your actions. So I don't think you can give an excuse for jihadism or Sufi jihadism inside Hinduism. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure somebody would have found some loophole, but yeah.
But my so you know the like how the whole like slogan is that guns throughout all religious systems, there have been some sort of conflict just throughout humanity in general. There's been conflict. So it's good to know that it's the people that actually take their ideology to the extreme and use their religious beliefs as a weapon, and not necessarily like the specific aspect of Islam or any other religion. It's the people that are doing the killing.
Yeah, but the people are operating off of a program. We're nothing more than iPhones with legs and arms, and whatever we've put inside of our cup, which is our brain, is.
The people are also in charge of the program.
Well, I'm talking books primarily, not media propaganda. I'm talking books. I mean, if most people are not operating off of books, they're operating off of screens.
Yeah, nowadays for sure.
Yeah, but
books, it was stories, but it's still stories.
Right, but dude, I know you come in defense of Islam all the time, and I don't.
No, I'm just talking about religion in general, right?
So the deal is, there's a reason why 99% of the terrorist groups, or 90% terrorist groups, come from one religion. There's a reason. It cannot just be, oh, there'll be bad people in every religion, right? And the reason is philosophical. It is philosophical. It is one of the least pluralistic ideologies. It's a very binary, you believe or you go to hell, kind of system. And that promotes the kind of ferocity you don't see in Hinduism or Buddhism, Jainism. Because we are very pluralistic. We're cool. If somebody calls me an atheist, I'm cool with that. I don't have a big urge to convert them.
I mean,
but then practical Hinduism too.
Can I ask you Shiva, can I ask you who gave this percentage of 99% terrorism coming from one religion? I don't get it. What you mean?
He's saying that within the Quran, the philosophy or the programming within the Quran is more dangerous to the operator. Meaning that when you read Christianity or you read Jewish materials or even Hindu materials, there's not this militaristic type of ethos. I mean, Muhammad, if I have a book, I have the Quran, and when you read it, when you read Quran, to me, it reads like medieval magic, and there's a lot of passages in there that remind me of Western esoteric magic, meaning Aleister Crowley and that type of Golden Dawn system. And so Muhammad and these people were definitely, in my opinion, mixed up in magic or black magic.
Well, I guess that's your opinion. And the thing is, like, there is also a context to each and every verse. Like, if you read Quran and you don't know about the context, so you're gonna go astray. You gotta ask somebody who is knowing. The Quran itself says, like, I'm an agnostic, and I believe in agnosticism. I'm still searching for a God, but I do believe there is a God, but I don't know which one should I follow and which one should I believe in. But I think as I've read Quran, I've read Bible too, and I also know about, like, Hinduism. But the thing is, like, when you are out of the context and you don't know about it, you'll never know what the book is talking about, not just about the Quran, like any book.
Yeah, I mean, on October 7th, when these people from Hamas were inserting nails to women's vaginas, they were not looking for content. They couldn't have asked for content.
Alright. You were started the story from the middle, man. October 7th was not the first time they did it. You were starting the story from the middle, not from the beginning, man. I'm not defending Islam, but you don't be a hypocrite, man. Don't be a hypocrite. I also know about the dark side of Hinduism, but I'll never say anything about, like religion or something. even if somebody says something against Hinduism, I'll be there to defend it. Because, you know?
Please don't. Please don't defend anything that you should not be defending. Just focus on yourself.
You have not even said anything that's intelligent whatsoever. Just random.
So going back to what Adrian was talking about, the male and female energy, right? That's why my name here is Shiva Shakti. So Shiva is the unmanifest, the male energy is unmanifest, and Shakti is the manifest, female energy. And the dance between the two, which creates the cosmos, the universe as we know it. So the unmanifest is the intelligence, and the manifest is the electricity, the atoms, the molecule, the physics. Which then the combination of the two, the intelligence and the matter, creates the universe as we know it. So hence the Shiva Shakti combination for Hinduism is very important. Part.
Philosophy of spirituality in America is amazing. There's all this bullshit religious stuff that literally opposes spirituality.
What is the seat of materialism? United States is the center. Somebody said that, it's a word that the world is a circus. The US is the seat in the first row. So it's bound to not have as much spirituality as other places.
There are people on this app who are such ardent proponents of spreading of, they're ardent proponents of they're endorsing their religion left and right. I'm not saying they're proselytizing, but they have no spirituality to speak of, and they just can't miss the boat on life. It's just kind of amazing to watch happen and see it on this level.
Yeah, you haven't been paying attention. You're right, Michaela. Just pay attention on the app because it's happening everywhere.
No, but my point is that, yes, of course, but my point is the one thing that we have that's accessible to all of us on stage right now is the fact that we can observe, we can listen to people on this particular app. I'm not suggesting that, that in real life it's any different. But to me, I don't get to characterize or profile people in any regard in real life the way I can on here.
Perception is fascinating.
Shiva, did you read the book written by Narchikanika Sudraka against Hinduism?
Pardon?
The book by, Narchiketa Sudraka. Just type in Google it and you'll get it. The thing is, there he talks about things, he says that many Hindus killed Buddhists, monks, what's that word even? I'm gonna search, I'm gonna tell you.
Hold on 1 second. Dr. Reed, I'm trying to bring you up, but it's not, I see your hand up, but it's not letting us. Who is it? Dr. Rita.
Dr. Rita, who's that?
Dr. Rita down in the audience.
Let's see her. What's her name?
Dr. Rita J. She's in the others in the room section.
Yeah, let me bring her up. I thought that was Dr. Francine.
I mean, can you ascribe an index of intelligence to the Quran, to the Old Testament, New Testament, to the Bhagavad Gita, to the Upanishad? If all you do is operate off of one book and you not looking at the background or the foreground of that primary source document, I mean, you're not an academic, you're not an intellectual, you're not really interested in high value intelligence. You're looking at everything through the lens of a very limited scope. So I get the feeling that's a problem with a lot of the Muslims or Islamists on this app and in the world, is that they're only operating off of a couple primary pieces of information when you're living in a world of vast information. If you just base everything off of one book and you don't even read Rumi, you can't really even enjoy it because you need the analog. You need ancillary information to sweeten the flavor of what you think is so valuable.
That's interesting because a lot of people that I know that actually are Muslim don't particularly focus on the bigotry or the aspects of the religion that a lot of people do on the app. A lot of people on the app, their limited knowledge for lack of actually reading the literature, they speak out of ignorance and are often deluded by their misbelief about the religion. So it's interesting just how that works in the other way as well.
My goal was to take over the world, and I had an army of people doing it on my behalf, right? And they're out there blowing shit up, and I'm out here pretending to be peaceful.
You're living in La La Land. You're just going to come up with a hypothetical.
It's not hypothetical. Just look at the statistics.
Yeah, it's a La La Land hypothetical.
Just look at the numbers. That's it. I don't have to speak. The numbers speak for themselves. Go to the religionofpeace.com. Look at the stats.
La La Land hypothetical. Exactly.
I mean, what if I were to say that Muhammad was an evil magician, and I was to say he was truly an evil person interested in dark magic and sadistic activity, why is that La La Land? You don't think that real evil exists in the world? I'm trying to reframe what Muhammad did and how he did it. Do you know how he did it? I guess not.
Well, you elaborated how he did it.
I mean, I don't know how he did it, but I have the Quran to see the material in hindsight that he supposedly, wrote, which I doubt he wrote. I mean, it was, whatever association he was involved or whatever group he was involved in. But I would say that you could look at Moses and what he did with the rod of Aaron or the staff and the snake and that whole type of thing. There's an element of magic, or at least you could call it paganism, or you could call it occult, esoteric art, divining, the power of God through these objects, these symbolic objects. The rod or the pole is a representation of a person or a man, like the pole star. Or I'm just saying that there's so much occult symbolism in ancient Judaism or in the Moses story that to say that Muhammad isn't a practitioner of magic, it means that you haven't read the Quran, and I haven't really thoroughly read it, but I could go to any page randomly and point out things in the Quran that mirror Judaism, but it's unique to Quran or to Islam. But my point is you can't escape magic, meaning that the natural world, the symbols within it, or the symbols within our universe, the moon, the sun, all these things have analogs in terms of occult interpretation, and occult just meaning hidden or secret. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
was a magician?
I'm presenting it as a hypothesis. I'm not saying that he's a magician. I'm saying that he, you could say he was a warlord magician.
Claiming, but you're calling it a hypothesis.
Yes, I would say most people who present or are historically known as prophets are technically acting in the role of a magician or a sage. You don't have to use the word magician. You could use the word sage. That's probably a more PC term to describe somebody who uses esoteric symbolism through in a divination practice.
Well, I look at it this way, not just about the Quran, like about any book. If I start reading, just say like, if I start reading a surgery book and I read it for a year and I don't ask anybody to teach me what's being said in the book and what's written. So the thing is, will I ever be able to perform surgery when I'm finished with the book? The answer is no. Like, you gotta ask those people who are good at it, who know the book, who understand it. So that's how I look at it.
I know, but you're like denying what a book is. A book is not a set of questions. A book is information presented to help you, maybe accomplish something. Now, if you were to read a book on surgery and no one else had read a book on surgery and I needed surgery, I'm coming to you because at least you have some information. So that's the difference.
But one of the persons must be asked, like, you can't understand the whole concept of something, like,
I get it, but that's why people go to book club to discuss the ideas. You don't need someone to interpret and tell you a book to understand a book. I mean, it could take you a lot of tries to incorporate it into your understanding, but to say that you need to pair, I see what you're saying. Anyways, I'm just saying that there's an expression that beauty terminates in itself, and meaning that like a good book terminates in itself. If it's such a good book, I don't need somebody to further reveal the good information in it. It's exemplary. It's self-stating. You don't need an interpretation.
But if so many if so many people think it's a good book and you don't think it's not a good book, and I think the problem is you've got the problem, not the book. Like, you're mirroring your own self.
Okay, it's not about it being a good book or not good book. And it's one thing to talk about an instructional, objective, technological, or surgical thing. That's a good example, Ethan. But Adrian, we cannot avoid that there's cultural subtext and context and pretext. We need a believer to tell us what is in between the lines, what does this really mean? Because there's so many concepts that once they travel abroad, they are misunderstood the way differently from the way the people who actually are adhering to this. And you also get to understand the adherence as well, which is no less important than understanding the text. Yes, there's the text, there's the context, there's the interpretation thereof. So whatever is written in the Quran is one thing, but we're dealing with 1.5 billion interpreters of the Quran, and that's another thing we have to understand.
Yeah, but they're not reading Quran. It's 20% of the population has ever even touched a Quran.
I need to know what they believe. I don't know what they've touched or what they haven't touched, but there are 1.5 billion people calling themselves.
If you want to know what they believe, you have to read the book that they claim is their divine guidance. It's Quran.
Wrong. With all due respect, it goes to this like neuro-linguistic programs. People, we're all going to see different angles. Even in the Judaism, I think you know this. Familiar with this. They say there are 70 interpretations of the Torah. So again, what?
I know it's opinion based. I mean, that's obvious. I mean,
even if it wasn't a people read in things because they don't know. I mean,
well, there's universal constants within the comparative world religions, and a lot of it deals with self-actualization or self-development.
I'll give you there are universals. Okay, I mean, you got the Ten Commandments, which way in Judaism they were reading this week in the synagogues, and that's pretty straightforward. Do not kill, do not, commit adultery. There are things that are pretty objective. Then again, there are other things that are not. But just because there are, you really do need a guide.
You don't. You might need a guide. I mean, what if there are no guides? You have to rely on yourself. It's a question of self-sustainability.
Yes, you rely on yourself if you want to understand yourself. But if you want to understand other people and you want to understand the text, you may
I
want to
know,
rely
but
on
the
yourself.
whole thing is an exploration of self. If you want to know other people, you have to learn yourself. That's my point. Is self-actualization is the journey.
Okay, but it's not narcissistic actualization, and others do exist. And I think you made the point that there's something. What did you say when we? What did you use? What was the word they used? It was a nice word. I forgot. When we have something to compare it to, we know what the actual.
Yeah, it's the analog. It took me a while to figure out what that even means. I've never Googled it, but I believe the analog is the analogy or essentially a way to do comparison.
Again, self-actualization is one thing. Narcissism, tunnel vision is another thing. And I'm totally with you on self-actualization, but I think there's got to be more than just focusing on self for you to do that.
Well, you got to, I mean, anyways, the thing about Hinduism and Judaism and Islamic Sufism, I mean, I think they all share similar characteristics, but Islam has a PR problem. Islam has a bigotry problem. Islam has a sexist problem. There's problems in it because of the Quran. And until you actually start picking apart the Quran, I don't think you can get to the underlying cultural subcontext, which is really what's driving the decision making and the behavior of a lot of Islamists.
I'll give you that. There are things that are blatantly flaunt, in the Quran, and it's pretty obvious. Some things there.
See, people don't like Islam. They like it to a certain extent. And then when it becomes too conservative, too machismo, too bigoted against women, that's when the support seems to stop. And that's the thing about polygamy, where a man supersedes a woman in everything in this religion. So that's the nice thing about Judaism and Christianity, where there's an equality between men and women. And then you'll have Muslims say that's not true. There's equality between, and it's like, okay, well then we can never really get to any differentiation.
Well, I have a problem with what goes on in the afterlife, because the afterlife, in most religions, is supposed to be a spiritual place. And I'm going to rely on just what I hear on the street. In Islam, what is it, 72 virgins? It's a place, worldly desires, lust, treating people as women as property, promiscuity. That's my unfortunate understanding. If somebody wants to correct me, I'll be glad. That'll be my good day when I find that there's something more than just that to it. But how does that not lead to disrespecting women? If that's what you believe is going to go on in a holier place than this place.
But you could look at it through like a Sufi lens, which is always be here now, be here now, be here now. There is no afterlife. And so you reap what you sow right now. I mean, if you are a sexist monster, that's the irony is you pick up all these wives, you think you're following the laws of the Quran. Next thing you know, you've created yourself a conundrum that you can't get out of, and you're like, oh fuck. And then you're your own worst enemy and you're punishing yourself with your actions and your behaviors because you're taking your guidance from a book which is you can look at Quran as being like the ultimate manifesto in terms of engaging in warfare and self-actualization. I really believe that you can use that book or any book for ill intention and bad.
Edwin, hold on. Can you give a reference? Where does the Quran say, these things that you are mentioning?
I'm saying that the story of Muhammad in terms of being a warlord or a king, like in the same way that Napoleon, donned himself an emperor.
Hold on a minute. You haven't heard the full story, I think. Muhammad was like that kind of person who was called, truthful and faithful, even before he actually claimed that he was a prophet. People ostracized him. He lived in a valley called Shabi Abi Talib there for 3 years. And after that, even people kind of made him leave his own place, like he went to Medina from Mecca. So the thing is, when he came back and conquered Mecca, what he did was he granted a general amnesty to the entire people of Mecca, whomever like they've kind of like mistreated them, they've kind of punished them and did whatever they could do to them. But despite all the things, he forgave them. I think you didn't hear this story. I have heard about